Just have the YouTube thing open, and then you can comment.
Hello.
Ooh, look, we're live. Look at that.
Oh,
We were just talking about are the comments gonna work. Hello, everybody. Okay, let's see.
hi everyone.
I'm always doing the same thing.
Rookie mistake.
I'm never muting the stream on my other screen. But then it seems like you can't. Yeah. Oh shit! Time for me to start trolling. Yeah, Kevin, get your troll on. Get your troll on. All right.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Give me a thumbs up. Say blink twice if you're doing fine.
Wow.
That's about right.
Max
is here. Yo, let's go. Wonderful. So we got Max and Kevin. We've got Bob. I think Bob posted a couple of days ago. He was like, I think yesterday he was like, I've been here since Saturday. When is this happening? So yeah, it's happening now, Bob. Where are you? And then he posted, did they change time? I thought it was for 8 a.m. Pacific. Yeah. Daylight savings, man. Daylight savings. It's going to mess up a lot of people here.
Yep.
Title needs to be fixed. Breakdance versus Breakdance Pro.
Get him out of here. Get Kevin out of here already.
Somebody kick that guy.
Oh my God, Kevin's
Ban him.
gonna roast us.
Yeah, he's gonna machine gun you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry
I
about
got my
that.
things to say. Kevin, don't leave. I'm gonna talk about you.
I'm Mosaic. What's up?
So do we get this ball rolling? Do we talk to people about what the fuck is going on here?
Let's do it.
Okay, Brandon, you do the intro. Come on, tell us what is this? What is bridge builders? I
Yeah,
think
we're
is what it's
here for
called.
bridge building. We're
Yes,
building
indeed.
bridges. We are, some guys that saw some stuff in the community and wanted to build some bridges. That's basically it. We're here to learn. We're here to learn more about different workflows, different approaches to building, different builders themselves. And we're going to build some bridges while we do it.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
Fortitude.
And just as a quick note, I need to leave early. We're usually doing this on Friday, but it's a Monday
Yes.
for me. And so I'm going to do what's called an Irish goodbye later, where I just disappear and don't say goodbye to anyone, since I'm Irish. So
Is that a thing?
Appropriate.
Did you just come up with that, or
that
does
is a real thing. It's probably in Wikipedia entry.
Yep.
All right. Bob says, "Can you get some more people on the screen?"
We have a few more in the back. We could bring them on if you want.
I can bring on Taylor Swift. Hang on.
Oh dear.
Hang
This
on. I
guy.
can do that.
This guy's
By the way.
subscribed to the TaylorSwift.com RSS feed.
Yes, absolutely. There she is.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
I need.
He's actually doing it.
How does this work?
Hey man, this is a PG stream, buddy.
Okay, there.
Oh, Taylor's here too.
Yeah.
On a bed.
I can't make her sing though because I'm on Linux and I can't share my audio.
Yeah, and we'll get a copyright infringement strike. So
Yeah.
probably not a
So
good
this
idea.
is the shortest succession time we've had between two episodes, right? Because the last episode was on Thursday, and now we're back. So I think after that we need to take a 9-month break, something like that.
Yeah, sabbatical maybe.
Yeah. But seriously, I mean, 2 Thursdays ago, it was fucking crazy. I woke up in the morning and it was like, okay, there's a new Oxygen version. Beaver Builder's imploding. There's a new Bricks. And what was the other thing? There was one other thing.
Build errors.
Build
Oh,
Aries,
Build
of course.
Aries, yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Oh, God.
Oh god. Well,
Oh
we did
God,
that
I hope
last time,
Elvis
so it's
isn't
already...
here. I hope Elvis isn't there. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you, Matt? Yeah, so all on the same day. And I was like, I ran to the Bridge Builders Facebook group and I was like, guys, we got work to do. And so here we are. We had Elvis on last week, who was showing off build areas, and we had Kevin on, who's back, and he was doing bricks, and we learned a lot. And today we're going to learn a lot as well because we have Cracka here and we have Ruben returning, and they're going to build a layout, not Taylor Swift's website,
Not Taylor
actually.
Swift.
No, but a website in Oxygen 6 and Breakdance. We want to make it very clear that Oxygen 6 is a beta version, of course, right? So it's not ready for prime
Kevin
time.
is gonna
It
disagree.
was never meant to be released, I think.
Cue the comments.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna find out if it's any good and how much can be done with it. there obviously has been a lot of criticism levied at it, and we're going to see. I want to find out what actually it can pull off. That's why I'm going to rewatch this stream, because in about 20 minutes I need to go tuck my kid into bed. So honestly, I'll be gone for about an hour, and it's just going to be you guys. But still, I'm looking forward to this. Cracka, Ruben, do you guys want to say a little bit about yourselves?
Oh yeah, Cracka.
Oh yeah,
Take it away,
Kevin
buddy.
says I'm handicapped. Yeah, actually, Kevin, you're right. Sorry, what did you say?
Go ahead, Cracka.
What did
Yep.
Kevin say?
Introduce
Cracka is
yourself.
handicapped in this episode. Yeah. But then, like, both of you guys, like, you could switch back and forth, right? Like, about halfway through, Ruben gets oxygen 6, just to be fair.
Hold on a bit. I think I might need to use my.
We're already being dicks about it. Honestly, this is about bridge building. This is about dialogue. This is about looking at different tools and understanding what the workflows are, how the tools work, and how different people work with those tools to get something done. Cracker's already taking off
Let's
his
let
headphones.
Ruben
I'm
introduce
out.
himself.
Okay, so what are we starting?
Please. Yes, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Oh yeah.
For the two
Okay.
people in the audience that don't know you.
All right. My name is Udoro Essien, also known as Cracka. I own a YouTube channel, Design with Cracka. I am very active in the bricks and oxygen and breakdance community. I started web design, I think it's over 12 years. But just like everyone, I've grown along the way. My growth really accelerated when I started using oxygen. That is why I really have a soft spot for oxygen. A lot of people may not understand why, I like rooting for oxygen, because I would say to some extent it's sort of sentimental, and but oxygen was actually the first tool that made me feel like I am using a real professional tool, and that really made a lot of difference in my journey. I also develop components for all these builders, templates. Probably in the description says that all. So that's basically it. Not much.
Cool. Awesome. It's great to have you. I didn't know it was Essien. I was going to say Essien. Essien? That's how I would have pronounced it.
Yeah, Essien actually is the pronunciation.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ruben,
Sweet.
my boy,
Yes, sir.
come on.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
my name is Ruben, and I love breakdance. I hate etch and ACSS. I have to start with that. Save it, clip it, and replay it. No, I'm joking. But my name is Ruben. I started website development since I was a young kid. Didn't take it serious until a few years ago when I worked for an agency, and we were pumping out Divi websites 2 or 3 a week. So I really fell in love with the art of visual builders. Then discovered Oxygen through the agency, and they hated it because it was a learning curve for me. But if, like Cracker, it kind of helped you improve on all your tools and how to become a better web developer. And then found Kevin's content and a couple other YouTubers, and then the whole debacle happened. Breakdance came out, and I loved it. So I've become a breakdancer. I also created our very own CSS variable token system called Headspin, and it's 100% breakdance lovers. Me, Tony, and Renato, we all love breakdance, and we want it to succeed.
I like
And
it.
then I have a web agency, so I manage about 42 clients on the side.
On the side. Love that. Hell yeah.
Side hustle.
That's my side hustle.
It's funny because my kind of journey was I was using Beaver Builder for like between 2016 and 2022, give or take. When I started in 15, and then in 2022, a friend of mine was like, "Hey, have you checked out Oxygen?" And I checked it out, and I was like, "This is professional. This is awesome." And I liked it a lot. But even at that point in the Oxygen group, people were like, "There's also Bricks, and we don't know. I mean, Bricks is also
Yeah.
pretty good." And then Breakdance was released, and I was like, "Okay, I think I might want to take a look at Bricks." And the first thing I noticed was that I can have more than one page open in Bricks in several tabs. And I was like, okay, I'm sold. So I switched to Bricks, and I still have my Oxygen license, but I don't see myself going back. Sorry. But that said, it is a really good builder, and I think it sets standards. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it the first one of its kind to kind of have this involved of a workflow that you were able to access pretty much anything that CSS can do in controls? It felt like Bricks was just Oxygen, except with stuff improved.
Yeah.
And a couple of minor things missing. So I think Oxygen was a trailblazer. So I'm really looking forward to finding out. Sorry?
Oxygen users basically, I said Oxygen users basically built Bricks. Like
Yeah.
when they migrated from
made the
Oxygen
groundwork.
That's
to
fair.
the Bricks community, they actually, shaped the way Bricks is today, by the requests and everything they wanted to be in Bricks. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dave then says, please bring on the music for Ruben.
Oh, jeez.
I don't think we have music, but Mark, I think you have a sound effect, right?
We got a couple. We got a couple.
Yeah.
You guys do something cool. We'll definitely throw out the air horn.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
Okay. Should we fuck around some more, or should we show the website?
I think you got to show it. Everybody's excited.
Let's show it, right? Okay, let's see. So, where is my screen? Here. Web hosting for everyone. DreamHost.
Yeah.
That's the one we're building today. Not exactly. Not the whole thing, but I mean, you guys get to choose if along the way you want to do something else than we're discussing now. Go ahead, but I would say we, like, just as an amuse gueule, we do the quick layout for the hero with, especially this thing might be nice to see how that's done with CSS Flexbox, but obviously none of this is really rocket science. Then a little bit further down we have this overlap here, like this, what do you call it? Like, probably it's an inset shadow, but there's different ways you can do this, right? To have this box overlapping into the next section. That might be an interesting one to see how that's pulled off, how you can pull that off in both builders. And then here, I think, is where it gets really interesting, because we have a kind of cool layout with these different overlapping elements here, these boxes that overlap each other, and then this box that kind of, I think it even goes, like, if we put up a line here, there's some overlap there as well. So that's going to be interesting to build. Perhaps also even this grid here. And then further down, was there something else further down? I don't know. Yeah, perhaps this. I mean, none of this is really that difficult, but might be nice to just throw it in there. Yeah, and that should be enough to get us going for the next 4 to 6 hours, I think. So,
2 to 4 business days.
per person. What do you think?
Let's do
Sound
it.
good? Ready to go? Do we start with the hero?
Yeah, I mean, we could start with anyone you want.
It's a democracy.
It's
Okay, fine. No, fuck it. It's a dictatorship. Let's start with that one. Let's start with the hero.
Let's start with the hero. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm up.
Cracka.
See
Okay.
it.
Okay, let's see. Let's get this out. This remove this from the
Alright.
scene. Bring Taylor Swift back in.
So you're sharing my screen now?
Yes, I am. There we go.
Sir.
Okay. All right. So we're doing this excluding the header.
Just hang on
Let me
before
move
you
my-
go. Sorry about that, but we got a
Yep.
couple comments here.
Okay.
Somebody named Kevin is posting a couple of things. Rick was heavily iterated by Oxy users who left Oxygen when the balls got dropped. Yeah, just do the businesses of all size section. There's enough interest in that section alone. Hero is light work. Yeah, I mean, you got a point there.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, he's right. Let's do the business of all sizes, and then we can go back to the easier stuff. Cool
All
for
right.
you?
So Oxygen 6.0 beta, very limited in what it can do. depending on breakdance elements, which we're probably not going to use. So I have a site here that I've installed Oxygen as the only plugin, and basically everything here just is very similar to the settings, everything similar to Breakdance. But I'm just going to go ahead and open this page that I have created. I'm going to open it in Oxygen, and that opens up very quickly.
That is really quick.
So what I did was I went ahead to create variables, which I'm going to show as we go along. So what basically happens is that you can create variables. For example, you can create them, add them, create them in different collections. So I name this heading, spacing, color. So let's say I want to create a variable for maybe font sizes. So I can rename this, call this font size, and then I add a variable like that. So I could say a unit, and then I just call this H1 and add a font size there. So that's basically what I did. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Okay. And so the structure panel is hidden over here. So let's start. So what I will need is a section. I need to do the initial setup because Oxygen 6 doesn't come with the section elements with the inner container. That means I have to do that myself. I have variables for the site width, which I'm going to use. So
these are all variables that you did beforehand, right? Like none of this is preset.
There's no preset.
Okay.
All these are empty. Yeah, they're all empty. I created all this to save time. Got the colors from here. Just did some. I actually didn't get any of the spacing from here. These are just, except the font sizes, All right, so I'm going to add a container. That container is supposed to be my section, but basically Oxygen gives you just divs. And I'm going to add another one, and you really can keep it open while you are adding, so that's a problem. For the first one, I want to change it to a section, and then this second one is my section inner container, which should be a div. So I don't have a configuration for top and bottom padding for the section, so I'm going to go ahead and create a global style, which is missing in Oxygen. There's no global style, so I'm just going to create my own global style. To do that, I'm going to go to selectors, and I'm going to add new selectors. So I'm going to call these tags or HTML tags. Why is my capital letters not working? Okay. First tag I'm going to add will be a section. Now, I'm adding that because I want to be able to style all the section and give it, this is not very ideal because there are sections you don't want to have those paddings and all, but I'm just going to do this for now. So I will select this and add my spacing. So the margin, I'm only seeing margin here. Okay, padding, okay. It's confusing, right?
Okay, now I understand. Yeah, it took me a moment.
So I'm going to add these variables. I'm going to add my section part Y up there, and then I'm going to add its section part Y. So I have that for my section, and then for the left, now this is really not very convenient to use because, you see that thing covered it up. I had to find a way to clear that. I'm going to add my gutter here, and I'm going to add my gutter here. So I have my gutter and my section padding up and down. Now for these, this is going to be my section inner, but I don't want to apply a style here. I want the direct child of this section to always have, to always be the site width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the selectors, and then I'm going to add a nested selector. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add -div and enter. So that means any div that is a direct child of the section. Why is it giving me a dot. That isn't supposed to happen. So that is actually wrong,
But it's
because
nice to see that being
because
possible in the first
this
place.
yeah, this is section to div. So I'm not supposed to have a dot there.
Yeah. Just wanted
Okay.
to quickly interrupt here. Kevin
Yeah.
suggests. Are you seeing this on your screen as well? Like I just brought it up.
Should I be
Where
watching the live?
section, not section, section. This goes over my head.
Yeah. So what is okay?
Towards
Yeah.
yeah, this one.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So okay, Kevin is saying that is what I should do. Okay. Section, not section, section. Okay. Yep. All right. Okay. I think I could borrow that. I think I could borrow that.
Okay.
So I could add that selector.
It's how you style only parent section, is what Kevin said.
Yeah, so I think that's a great idea. Thank you. So I'm going to borrow that. So I'm going to add another selector. Hold on. I don't have that at the top of my head. Yeah, where's section? Section, not section, section. Okay. Sorry about that.
But I'll be honest. In bricks, I don't think any of this would be necessary.
No, actually, without ACSS, you would do something, but not like this. Without using automatic CSS, you actually don't have that default patterns, but at least they give you a space to do. I hope that is right. Section.
Yeah. But in bricks, I believe I would just do it in the theme styles,
Let me
right?
just
Even
confirm
without
that.
ACSS.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to style that. What is it supposed to do again? So
It
what I'm
beats me.
trying to do
I'm
is
just
have
the
a
messenger.
width of 100%, and then a maximum width of the side width. Okay, so that is actually wasn't what I was going for. So Kevin, let's undo that. I think what Kevin was trying to tell me was I had a different idea. What Kevin wants me to do is to use it to style the section, not to use the section element. So yeah, I'm going to do that. So instead of styling the section like this, okay, so I will just copy spacing since I've already done that here, and I'm going to remove this copy spacing. Then I'm going to clear that, and then I'm going to go to that, and I'm going to paste spacing. So I just moved that from that selector to this selector, okay? But then I'm still going to go ahead to see what I wanted to do with this 100%. And maximum width, side width. I don't want to waste time with this configure. What is this? Something is wrong. Oh boy. This should be straightforward, right? What a waste of time. Okay.
Not a great endorsement for Oxygen
Yeah, so let's
6.
go to the front end and check what the problem is. So I have my section with 100. No, that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. This is supposed to be here, not here. Here.
Oh, was it double click to remove that spacing?
Yeah, double click
Ah, did not know that.
max width, side width. I thought that's what I did before. Okay, let's save that. And then let's see. So we have a section, and then we have this. Okay. So maximum width is side width, background red, height, 100 pixel. So we have that. So we just have to complete that by putting the margin auto. So I'm going here, and then I'm going to just put this auto. Auto. This is auto. So we have this in the middle and far side width. So I'm saving that. Okay, we've gotten that out of the way, and it's responsive. All right, so let's start building the hero. So what we need here, this is the H1, and this is, I don't know what we
Cracka.
call this, pre-title. Yeah?
I'm thinking perhaps it would make sense to actually go to the more exciting part first, like further down the section offering hosting services for all businesses of all sizes.
Which one?
Starting there. No, this one. This one.
This one?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
That would be.
Oh,
I think it would
wait,
make more sense. Yeah,
wait,
because I think that's the most.
Where does it
Starting there.
start?
Starting there. Exactly.
Starting here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is possibly an H2. So we're going to have, let's see, what we are having here is we have the H2 here. This is divided into two. This side takes about 40%. This takes about 60%. And we have two cards here. And this overlaps here. Oh, it's a lot of overlapping going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what they're doing here. Well, doesn't really matter. Let's start. So we're gonna have, it's gonna be like a black background, and then that. So I'm going to give this section a class to even style it independent of other section. I'm just going to say section A. I don't want to waste time thinking about the name. Background, I need to give it black, but I want that black to be a variable. So I didn't have a black, so I'm just going to say black. Create a new variable and just give it save.
I do like how tightly variables are integrated into the whole UI. Like you just created a variable right there, which is pretty convenient.
So I'm going to add a text and another text. So let's see. This is going to be duplicated. How many texts do we have? The 1, 2 here. Okay. So the first one is, okay. First one is an H1. We don't have style for our H1 yet. So what I want to do is to go to this section, and I want, I'll probably rename that to, just give it another class, like section dark. And I want to change all my typography there. I didn't have white as a variable, but I think I will use off-white. So I want all my text. I don't want to style I don't want to change the text color on the text level. So we have this as H1. I want to style my H1s globally. So I'm going to go to selectors, and then we're going to add H1. So I have H1. I'm going to style H1. I want the font size to be my H1 font size. Sorry. Yeah, for H1, but that is not H1. We're working with H2. So I'm going to add another one, H2. I'm going to style this typography, font size. I want it to be my H2 font size, which doesn't seem to. Okay, so we're going to change this to H2. All right. And how about my all headings? So I want to set a font heading family. I want all the fonts to be pop-ins. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to create a selector. So those were under my tags, H1, H2, H3, H4. So doing it like that would allow me to style all of them. So put that variable for heading family. So we have pop-ins. Weight, I think 600 should be good. Okay. I think they're using something like 500. All right. Okay, so that, as we're going to create this as we go along. Am I still connected?
Yes, you're still
sir.
there.
It's really quiet.
Yeah, it's all good. We're watching Wrapped.
All right. Okay, so I hope I got this.
Also, I'm
I
gonna
like
have
that
to
it
pop out in a
updates
moment.
I like that it updates the H2 in the structure panel, so you can see that it's not just text anymore.
So I have that, my H2 text. They actually, I don't know what they did there. So I want to, give this a max width, but it seems that it automatically just naturally wraps because of the size of the container. So I probably will leave that for now. So that means I can just wrap this with a container and move this text in, since I don't have then another container. It's supposed to be out. Sorry, not outside that one, but this. Okay. All right. I have my small text. I'm gonna select everything, and this is my regular. It's not a body. Is that their body size? It looks like their body size. Okay. It looks like their body size. So I will have to just put that here. Okay. So I'm going to go to body, and I will just text large. Hold on. Let me see if I can get some. Just a moment, please. I think the body size, let's just give it in RAM, you know. We want the font size to be 1.6 RAM. Okay, that should be about that. Maybe 5, no, 6 looks okay. All right, but for this, we'll actually have to limit it. So I'm going to limit this by styling it. I'm going to give it a, what section was this? So the problem here is that since we cannot style this thing on the elements, on the ID level, you really need to creating class, finding names for classes is really a headache. So I am just going to call this,
Sometimes I
section,
just give them people
I'm just
names.
going to call this section A.
You just call it Eric or Bob or something.
Text. And then size, I'm going to give it a max width. The max width maybe 10 M. Now the reason I'm using M, it's a not. What did we copy this?
So just two quick announcements right here. First one, now it's not just Kevin, it's Kevin and Maxime now. So
All
sorry.
right. Okay.
And he says
So
with advanced theme, the whole website would be done by now. But
the reason I'm
also, I'm gonna have to pop out. So I'll be back as soon as the kids asleep.
Have
all
fun.
right.
We'll see
Okay.
what the liquor cabinet has for her.
All right.
See
So
you
the
later.
reason I'm using M here is so that if I change the font size, did I give this a font size? Yeah. Okay, it was the body. So if I decide to override this font size, let's say to maybe 16, you can see that that max width, you know, is still, you know, it still corresponds to the font size because I was using M. But let's assume that I was using, let's say, 350 pixels or more, something like maybe that. And then I go ahead to change the font size to 16. So you can see that, yeah, it doesn't correspond to the font size. So that is why I used the M. Sorry, let's undo that.
There's actually a super interesting thing. I have it on my another part of my screen here. And if you guys are watching and you take the DreamHost page, like the website, and you shrink it down to, you know, maybe like a laptop size screen, the container that small text is in actually has a black background. So they're doing like a lot of overlapping stuff. The white section that's below it.
Okay, so unique.
Yeah.
The unique here has a different look. So I'm going to come here, and inside there, I'm just going to add a span. And I'm going to go to this text and add a nested selector and just say span. And I'm going to go typography, color, change it to that. So this nested selector, the way it works is it just targets the span that is inside that text only, not all the span. So that's how it works. And the fonts are italicized. So, yeah.
That was pretty slick.
Yeah, it looks a bit different, but it's okay. All right. Let's. So this basically doesn't align to the edge of the side width. This goes all out, so I'm not quite sure what is going on here. But let's start with doing the right thing. I'm going to make this to display this container, section A, container. So I'm going to give it, I'm going to make it display. I think I'd like to use grid, but let's just see. Trying to use Oxygen's workflow, the proposed workflow. Grid columns 2, and then I want this to be more. This side, I want this side to be more than this side. It's possible that they are the same, but this extends outward. So you can see that if you consider that this doesn't end with the side width, they are basically the same. So we're not going to make, so it's just going to be exactly 2, yeah. So it would appear that a side width is smaller. So let me see what width they are actually using, so we can use that so we can have similar results. So I'm going to point on that computer 1466. Okay, so is that consistent? Not for here. So there's a lot of inconsistency here. So you have this width more than this width, and so I'm trying to find maybe this. So let's see, maybe this 1.5. So there's a lot of different widths. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this. Yes. It's not working. I need something.
You're using like a grid for the whole.
And yeah, so the side width is not really that. Okay, yeah, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this first one, you know. So 1466, I'm not quite sure, but 1400 should be okay. So what I'll do is to go in to the variable of the side width and just change it to 1466. So if we
We
look,
picked a doozy for you that it seems like every section is different containers widths. So
yeah, the
really
sizes
makes
are
it interesting.
different.
Now I have a question for you. Do you prefer the grid function in like Breakdance or Oxygen, or do you like the the one in Bricks more where you have to type in your whole input?
Yeah, I prefer the one in bricks. There's a lot of it's more flexible, so I prefer the one in bricks. You know. Okay, so here we put in 2 images. Okay, so I'm just gonna add image or this content. Now, when you work for some time, they start suggesting containers classes for you, but the first time you open it, you don't get a suggestion. But as you work, they start suggesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm essentially styling this as as an ID. So I'm just going to choose that. You could always rename it if you find a use case for renaming it. So what I'm going to do is to I think I'm going to position this way. Okay. What did I just do? That was self-align. Yep. Let's remove that. What I did was I wanted to position the child element. So display flex direction, and then this is layout grid. So these settings are for grid child. So I'm not supposed to touch this for now, except unless I want to. So I've displayed this flex direction align. Oh my God, I couldn't see. So this I complained about this. I didn't even know there was anything here. So I'm aligning this. I think top is okay. So let's just bring in that image. Put in what's this?
I think I'm getting old because that font looks so tiny in the builder.
Yeah. This. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna use grid for this. Let's see. If we take a look at this, we could divide this into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I do 10, I should be able to work with 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do 10. So I will use grid to arrange this stuff. Okay. Let's see the images on the site. It seems all of them have border radius. I'm not sure if it's all of them where we can, but then let me not go down that path for now. Let's focus on the most vital part. So I'm going to set this to display grid. Let's try and use Oxygen's workflow. Okay, so this displays as grid instead of flex. And it's going to be 10. Okay, 10. Are we going to have rows? D. If we're going to have rows, then that's going to be a lot of rows. Mine. Two. Wow, I'm kind of stuck here. So what I want to do is to get this to start from, let's say, no grid nodes for me to see. So let me go to the front end so I can see my nodes. So I have this displayed as grid. So I want this to start somewhere from the end to somewhere in the middle. So is it from here to somewhere here? So 6. Let's start from 6. So this is a grid child. This grid child position area. I'm not sure. Okay. Manual. Grid start, grid end, row start. So let's use this. I start at 6, end at -1. Okay. And for this, I will start at 1 and end 6, 7. Okay. Now, let's save that. The grid gap. Man, I can't see. Where is the gap? All right, let's make that 0. You can actually separate between, I like the fact that you can actually separate it instead of just having gap, but I don't seem to see any difference. The gap is still there. Okay, there is no gap here in the front end. There's still gap in the builder. Okay, so perhaps let's try using 20 rows. Okay. So row 20. So if I go to the front end, I'll be able to see my rows. Where did I put that?
It looks right.
Yeah, it looks like the gap is gone now once you put the 20 in.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing my rows. So, damn, the output is crazy. Jeez. Why is it auto? 20.
It's a lot of autos.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, let's see.
Here's another reminder. This is a beta product. This is not production ready.
Good disclaimer.
Yeah. Can I write something here? I don't want this. I don't want this. No columns. I want to write it out. Okay. So I can use a variable for this instead of using this. So, oh gosh. Okay, let's see.
Kevin's saying you have to click the FR unit label. I'm not sure what that was
Here?
in reference to. I don't know. I haven't got this far with Oxygen yet.
Man. Okay. FR. This. Custom. Huh.
There you go.
Okay. Let's try writing it. Repeat 10. Min, max, 0, 1 FR. Okay. I'm just gonna copy this. Kevin, thanks.
It says yes.
This is wild.
Good job.
Yeah. So this. That's not good.
That's not good.
Row 20. Let's see if it's gonna work. Why am I getting that? Okay, so it's gonna give me the number of rows that are exactly the same. The same height as this. The gap is 0. Okay, so I think I might just give up using grid for this. So if I use grid auto rows, Let's just go with one of them first. What will happen?
Oh, it's putting it in each row. It's not like it's like the whole element almost. Is that how many? It's a
I
lot
think
of
I'm doing something. Yeah,
it's
I
a
mean,
lot of rows.
I expected the rows to have, the same number of. I expected it to min max whenever. Let's see. Yeah, 0. So if I said 1FR, 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 it's gonna do the same thing. Okay, this isn't working. I'm stuck here. Okay, so what I expected this to happen was to have the rows where I can place this, but these rows are taking up the size of the card.
Yeah,
Any smart ideas to resolve this?
it's all good. I got a question, Ruben. I think you're muted right now. If you want to unmute, do you think Breakdance can handle this?
Yeah,
Obviously,
I'll
this is
do
a
it. I mean, I'll do it
Yeah,
my way.
this,
yeah,
this is not supposed to be a difficult thing.
no, hundred
I
percent.
didn't want to use
It's not
negative margin.
difficult. It's difficult in
I was trying
Oxygen.
to avoid using negative margins, with
I
this, but this might force me to go down that road.
I
Yeah.
100% think you can absolutely do this, Cracka. This is just
Yeah.
again, you're a little handicapped here, so we totally give you the grace that you need because that's a valiant
Yeah.
effort there. And honestly, I think
So,
you're pretty much there. I don't know what's going on with those rows things. But
so what I'm going to do is I probably will just scrap the grid stuff and just I mean, I don't like I wouldn't like to work like that, but unfortunately,
why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? We're gonna switch over to Ruben's screen, and you can like kind of just tinker around on the back end too, and we'll
yeah,
pop back over.
let Ruben start while I sort this out.
Oh yeah, Ruben, you want to share your screen?
Yeah.
Get you pulled up here.
Let me.
Thanks for that, Cracka. That was cool to see.
Oh yeah, thank you, Cracko. Hang on a second, I got something for you. Wait for it. Wait for it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Okay, let me. I have the website up here. Let me
Oh, look at
close
him.
this.
He's doing his own production here.
I'm doing
He's
my.
got
I'm
his-
doing my own intro.
He wants to clip this. He wants to clip this with his face in it.
Yeah, I do. Can you hear my music? Welcome everybody to my channel. And I'm joking. I don't know why I look weird. I haven't figured out that setting yet, but I'm a little nervous because it felt easy in my mind, but then having all my heroes here, Cracker and Kevin, not Maxine, but these guys make me nervous, and I feel like this is super easy, but I'm gonna mess this up. But I have a basic install. I have Breakdance, Headspin, and I installed Advanced Steamer. So those plugins are the only ones I have installed. If you go to Headspin, this is my framework for Breakdance. There's a lot of Breakdance haters here. I'm not one of them. I kind of set up some tokens, some variables, kind of chose the colors of the website, the brand color, which is to me is that blue, and then all the accent colors, the pink, the green, the orange, black, depending on what we get involved with. But I'm going to do it my way. It may not be Kevin's way. It may not be Maxine's way. It may not be Cracker's way, but I got an idea of what I would do. I'm so used to just pumping these sites out so fast that I don't really think about best practices sometimes. And this is even worse.
There's value.
got
There's a little bit of
makings of
value in the
it.
speed, bro.
Yeah, yeah, there is value. So first thing you do, actually, let me go back here. I didn't do anything else. I just installed Headspin, which is a CSS token framework for Breakdance, and I think that's it, right? And then the plugins, and then and the pages, so post. Excuse me. Now I'm nervous here. Post, yeah, that's it. Just made a home page. I'm not an employee. I just really like breakdance for some reason. So let me look at the example here on my left-hand side. If you see me looking the opposite way, it's because I have the example here on the screen. Let me grab. So what I would do first, obviously, you add a section. So it's usually the first element here. Breakdance has that inner container. We don't have access to it. My theory is if I don't have access to it, I don't need it. But
Okay.
It's not everyone's approach.
Interesting.
But what I would do first, there's a couple. I guess I'll do it two ways, really quick. I'm assuming that if you're using breakdance, right? This is my mindset. If you're using breakdance, I'm not sure. I don't know how to word this correctly, but the idea is that you're not a professional building this for, right? It's the elemental crowd. It's the novice, right? It's the semi-professional. Maybe get into the point of semi-professionalism, or get into that approach, right? So I think the workflow or the elements they provide are very straightforward. And I think that's what breakdance pushes users to use, right? I could be wrong, but that's my opinion of breakdance. You can use it as a professional workflow. It's just there's a little minor tweaks and things you have to do. So, for example, what I would do here, maybe before I change the background to black, I would do. You can start either a column approach. You can do a 2-column setup, and then do some adjustments using margins. You could do it that way, right? Or you can use their element that's a grid and add a couple divs to it. So I'm gonna add 2 divs. So either way it works, and you have some controls here, the div. So I'm going to do a stack 2. So it's pretty much, you end up at the same, I think you end up at the same crossroad, right? If you do, let me put this inside of the grid. But you kind of, this is a grid element up top, and then this is a column element at the bottom. But you end up at the same road, right? So you end up kind of to the same navigation. So there's no, on the front end, there's just different tags of CSS, right? One has a div and the other one's a column div or column label on the front end. So either one, I think either way works. But my approach to building websites is always get the content in there first, right? So, and then you can worry about the styling. So we have the heading and the text. Let me just grab the heading and the text. So you can copy and paste that in, right? So then on the other side of the conversation here on this div is 2 images, right? So you have an image and you can duplicate it here. Let me grab the image.
So Ruben, are you a light mode builder or dark mode builder guy?
I'm a light mode. I'm the weird guy that likes the light mode.
So you love Gutenberg. Okay, got it.
I don't want to say yes and I don't want to say no, right? I will love Edge when that comes out. That's for sure. Let me see here. So these here are the 2 images, I believe, right? So now what you can do is select the section, click on a background, right click, and you have access to all the variables you created within Headspin. And you can do either, they use hard black, right? But what I do here, well, the cool thing about, I'm going to just show off a data attribute from Breakdance, is that if you have a white frame, you can make it dark. I did it backwards here because I'm nervous.
I like how that's a password field.
Yeah. So the cool thing is that you can make either the whole website dark or just use this data attribute, and it converts the whole section. It does the text and everything automatically for you. So that's pretty cool. So here on the example, okay, at this point, I have a couple options, right? So let me remove the gap because there's no space between the 2 grid elements. So what I would do, I think, right, what an average breakdance user would do is maybe change the height of the image. Let me see, 20 rem. Or do 20 or what? This time maybe 15.
Maybe a little smaller. Not
17.
Sure.
And then you just position it to the right, using, okay, this is where everyone's going to laugh because there's 1,000 pop-ups to get to the settings.
1, 2, 3,
oh my
4,
God.
5,
Oh, this is like the
6.
meme where like something opens on Windows and just.
Hey, don't meme it out. Get Kevin out of here. I don't.
Quick, close them.
Screenshot.
Yeah. So now you position it to, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Holy
5.
shit.
Maybe 5 pop-ups, right?
That just
To
looks
that.
hilarious.
Yeah,
I
it
will say
does.
you can. They do have that like search thing at the bottom. That I don't know how many releases they added that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
nice.
I'm just showing people what breakdance really is, right? So
Yeah, you
Matt
are.
said, "Oh my
and
god."
I'm a believer. I'm a believer. I love breakdance, but hey, sometimes I love pop-ups as well. So
Ruben, I got to say, you are a couple times I've seen you use breakdance. You are an absolute professional at this. You know where everything is, no matter how many pop-ups it is deep. This
yeah,
is impressive, bro.
yeah.
You can manipulate the shit out of this tool. There's a lot of respect for you there.
Yeah, so then I would go to the heading right quick and do CSS. I'm trying to avoid CSS and try to just use highlight the builder, right? And do a no wrap. Then what I would do here is do a z index, and it's Shift F, and you can type in the word, like for example z index, and you can skip all those pop-ups if you want to.
That's nice.
Yeah, that is
Uh,
necessary.
yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
z index, you can do 1, you do 2, it doesn't matter, or 99. So that's what we have there. And then the next thing you have to do is, since they're kind of overlapping, because it's based on the size of the grid, right? So something has to set the size of it. For example, the container, let's do it 600, and then you set the position of this, right? I know Kevin doesn't like spacing, but this is, I feel like, what they would do, right? An average person would probably do this.
Definitely.
You can do that. You can do the positioning of the element itself. Let me see, where's it at here?
Is this technically like just absolute positioning? Is that effectively what we're doing here? I don't. Somebody smarter than me.
Yeah, yeah. The top one is absolute positioning
Yeah.
based on the grid, or based on the here on the div.
Oh, did you just increase like the padding or margin up there or something?
Yeah, yeah. So on this
Okay.
image here, I just brought down
I see.
some padding.
Yeah. What
right?
is that? Yeah. Okay.
And then it's just the padding.
Got it.
If you go to the design element, it's just a spacing here. I'm sorry.
I see.
Top margin.
A little draggy. Okay.
Yeah, a little draggy top to the top to get to the elements, and then let me see what I would do here. So what you can do here, let me just go back to the top. So it kind of overlaps, kind of like their example here. Let me go to DreamHost.
Is there a reason that the left container here where the text is overflowing? Is that
Yeah.
by design?
Okay, if you didn't see me, no. I added a CSS called a text wrap and no wrap.
Yeah.
So it kind of breaks it out of the cell,
Right.
of the grid
Gotcha.
itself, or of the div. And then let me see
I
here.
see. It kind of does that. Yeah. This is a weird website on my end.
Yeah, so it breaks at the of. So either you can change the size of the breakdance, allows you to say the size, change the size. It should allow you to change the size of the width. Oh, because I did no wrap. Never mind. But ideally, you want to bring this down, right? And it kind of brings it over, but you got to do some little compromises to it. Let me see. Go back here. So you can change the size of it. Let me see. This is and then when you change the heading sizes on the element itself, you can go in here and do an H2. And then underneath it, let me see here. There's some space. So you just go to layout, go to the gap. You can use a variable. You can make it a little bit longer. A couple of things you can do, because you are right, that text element here at the bottom, it's a little bit big. Let me change the text. You go to the design, you go to typography, you go to large, and now you have a little bit larger text. But when they do overlap, you can, the way you would do that background being black and the text being there, let me see here. I think did they add padding to it? It only adds padding once it's at an iPad or mobile. Because on desktop, I don't.
Yeah, it's a really weird. I kind of want to share mine in a second here.
Yeah. So what do you do? So you go to under advanced, go to wrapper, and you change the background here to make it. I'll do it blue so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Then you would want to add all the space into it, right? So you can do M, but then it adds space in there. So I guess on this side you could just do 0. Oops. Just do M for medium, and then here on this side I would do 0 for maybe for desktop, and then it would be obviously black, but do that for desktop, and then add padding back on the mobile setup. I think that's what I would do if I want to recreate this website and have those weird effects. And then I think that's it. I mean, on this little section here, this is all I would do. And then just go on to the next part of the website.
Would you would you manually just tweak it as you go down the breakpoints?
Yeah, I would just, exactly. I would go to your desktop here and, for example, bring the padding back to medium there. Oops, wrong section.
Damn, dude, you're catching strays in the comments here.
What are they saying?
Maxime being mean as usual. Imagine being a freelance and inheriting a maintenance site built by Ruben.
Hey,
hey,
I got
it looks good. If it looks good, it looks good.
See, you got all the cool elements. First of all, I would never do this. I would never create that weird grid and have nothing match. So this is a Tailwind website. Yeah. So I would at least keep everything uniform and organized.
Bunch of
first of all,
Tailwind shit here.
Yeah, just attacking Tailwind. First of all, Maxine, I would never build this. This is not in my scope, and I would
reaping end.
It's really interesting how the Bluehost people actually did it.
Yeah.
Because I just had some time to take a look at it now, and it's crazy. The heading and the image on the right is one section, and then the next text and the second image is in another section, and they just did a negative margin.
Yeah.
And pulled it up. Very straightforward, but crazy, because actually that isn't the right way to build this kind of section. That this is essentially two sections on top of each other.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to show you guys this real quick because I have a huge screen in front of me. And I was just playing around with this. It just does so much weird stuff. Like this is really stretched because I have like a 49-inch monitor here. Yeah. So it's like they're not even really overlapping at the nth degree. Like once they're like fully stretched out, and then only when you get to like a reasonable size screen does it actually start to do some of this stuff. I'm absolutely not a CSS master, but and Kevin and everyone's saying like you have to do like a lot of stuff with grids. But like, I mean,
there's the black background on the text.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, because like they were probably like, yeah, this is gonna look like real shit when we get down to this. Like everything's starting to squish. So yeah, I don't even know if I like this.
So this is why it's worth taking the time to do it the like, at the risk of sounding like Kevin, the right way.
There's so much shit going on here. Like I mean,
because.
Don't attack Breakdance.
I kind of figure out why my stuff wasn't working.
Yeah. Nobody blames you for that one.
Cracka is honestly, I'm at a level 1, and then it's Cracka at a level 1,000. You know what I mean? So I'm nowhere near these guys' leagues in knowledge of what to do. But this is what I would do, right? So then, for example, okay, now in Ruben's reality, don't judge the builder, judge the user, just judge me, because obviously you can tell Cracka does amazing stuff in Breakdance. So it's not the builder. I mean, excuse me, it's not the builder, it's the user, me. So what you want to do is I'm going to build that other section right underneath it. That's definitely a grid section, right? So I would add a div, and then I'll make the container 100% to make it stretch across. And then using Tailwind's concept, I would just bring it up using margins, right? And then I'll change the background to white, and then do rounded corners. The rounded corners is under the border settings, so rounded corners. And then here, like I said, you go back to the same conversation, is that this is a grid. You can do a grid layout, so it's 1, 2. The only, I guess you can do columns, because it's 3 columns in a sense, right? So let me go here, go back. Okay, so whenever you're in Breakdance, you can hit Shift Escape, and it goes up a level. And then at that point, you can add, let me see where the settings at for the container.
Just got to search for them.
No, I need to add, hold on. Oh, on the div, I'm sorry, I need to go one level up. You can add the padding.
I mean, Ruben is already done with the first part. Quick build.
At this point, collect your money from, if you want to spend all your time writing code like Kevin,
I guess
column grid, gap, 4 or 5, this and that, padding, this and that. I'm trying to make money here. I'm trying to spend all day writing code and column grid, gap, this and that. No.
Respect.
Kevin, please, I'm joking.
It's done. Give me the money.
Yeah, it's done. Give me the money. I don't, and I'll fix it later on. So then you do negative, I say 100, right? And then you just change the Z index here. I'll say 3. And then change this index. Oops.
This is what they call vibe coding, right?
We should have asked Claude. We should get Claude on the line. Say, like, hey.
I mean, you could have used 1-1.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
So, for example, then you just build out the other section in the cards, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to put myself in not using like advanced grading systems, right? I'm trying to think, what would an average user use? I mean, because that's the whole idea of Breakdance, right? It's not like there's not too many crackers out there who are building sites as of a one-site website for their business, right? Like, I'm just trying to think how easy it would be for them. That's what I'm thinking out loud. I don't know. Could be wrong. But then you, at that point, you just build out the card. So we have inside the columns, the hosting here, for example. Let me go here. Oh, let me click this. Where's my mouse at? Lost my mouse.
This dude's losing stuff.
So then the next part of the website is just these little cards, right? So like Kevin's concept, think of a box. So you have a box here, you have a box here, and then the heading box, and then text, and then this is the link button. Pretty easy stuff.
Kevin. Come on, Kevin.
Sorry, I'm nervous, man. I don't do this very often. I don't do lives. I do pre-recorded stuff that I can edit.
this is actually my first live ever.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
Did a fantastic job.
yes, sir.
So, I'm not personally. I don't like people watching me when I'm walking. I like taking my time. So this kind of put me on the edge, But Ruben, I need to get back to work. I need to get back to what I was doing.
Okay.
My God, he's mad at me. Yeah, you can go back.
All right. Cracka, you want to try?
So that was my
take another
attempt
look?
of a breakdance.
Yeah, I want to take another look.
Okay. Cool. Let's do it. Let me pop out of this.
Let
This
me
one
go
back
to
on
this.
here. And we'll go over to. All right. We should be good.
Okay, so just looking at it, the first mistake I made here was making the images direct children of a grid item, which I actually have made a video about it on the channel. Images are problematic. First of all, images are displayed as blocks, and they're going to have problem with the grid start and grid end, specifically grid ends. So if not that was the problem here, but that will potentially be a problem too. So if you see here, grid start, column start, this cannot work because of the display block property. Images are usually blocked or inline blocked. So what I want to do is I'm going to move this into divs, and then I'm going to move these settings into this div. So first of all, before wrapping it with a div, I'm going to copy that setting. This is one thing I like about it. You could actually move those settings, copy it, and then I can delete it. I don't need it again. I'm going to wrap it. I'm going to wrap that with a container, apply a class to it, and just paste the grid child. I'm going to do the same here. Copy the grid child, remove it, wrap this in a container, apply a class to it, and paste that grid child. So I've brought that back in. I'm going to save that. So what I will do now is, this is supposed to end somewhere there. So let's look at this. So let's close that. Somewhere almost towards the ending of it. Okay, so let's keep it at that. And then these, let's close this. And this grid child, 6 to -1. Okay, now my image, let's look at the front end. Something is not looking good here. So why am I having a very massive space? Do I still have I still have the 20s, the grid 20. on the parents here. So what I'm going to do is on this parent, each grid item takes the automatically takes the width, or sorry, takes the height. The grid rows takes the height of the largest. Oh dear. So what we're going to do is to give this a maximum height. So I'm going to go to this size, give it a maximum height of 500 pixel. Something is happening here. So we give that a maximum height. You can see that we can now place the rows. We can now move this into the rows, into the different rows. So 500 pixel might be too small. So depending on how we want to do it, let's say 1100 pixel. Nope. Is that too large? Depending on how big we want ours to be. Something like that.
Did we lose him?
Did his audio go away?
Well, it sounded like a bomb was about to go off.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening. I thought it was a smoke detector.
I was literally checking my smoke detectors. Yeah.
Me too. I took out my headphones to check if it was my smoke detector.
We good. I
I
think
think we lost him.
I feel like what most likely happened is his computer kind of blew up.
Oxygen blew up his computer.
Ran out
Yeah,
of
or
oxygen.
something happened. I'm
Oxygen blew up
sure
his
he'll be
computer.
back. I'm sure he'll be back. Do we want to, Ruben? Do you want to explain some more of those things? Honestly, like I'm sure he's gonna pop back in, but in the meantime, what do we think about the? Kevin said Lewis pulled his internet. Probably. When you were doing the grid,
Yeah.
when you were putting columns in there, were you going to do something where it's literally just columns and you could just stack things kind of like
So-
independently, effectively?
Yeah. So what I do, hold on, I'll go back to my screen here. Go back there. Let's see. Is it here? Yeah. So I like to use this to do the grid generator, right? So then I kind of just map out in my head what do I want, like go here, and if it overlaps here, for example, right? So this is what I would use, and then just grab the code and use that within Breakdance.
Oh,
The only thing you have to do is that you have to create the template. So for example, let me see how it looks like. So I'll do, because, okay, so I would do, here's the one. There's just so many variables. The site, because it looks so different on every page, right? Like it looks different from mine than Cracker's and yours. Depends on your screen.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming this is 19 by 20 by 1080. So I'm assuming this is their standard view. So I mean, so what I would do here is I would create, let me see, a grid here. I mean, technically you can make it go across all the way to the bottom of it because it's at the bottom, right? So for example,
yeah.
like an option you would do here, let me reset this. So I would maybe do this, and then the bottom one would be here with the text that overlaps eventually, right? So then at that point, you just create the 4 divs and just label them accordingly.
Interesting. David said you could just use AT for Breakdance. Is that I'm not extremely skilled with the grid builder portion of that, but is that something that is available in the Breakdance version as well?
That's a troll. There's no version available.
God damn it, David.
it was a troll. So yeah, you can't use it, but you just create your layout here versus trying to visually, I'm not a grid template or grid generator like these guys. Like Kevin could do this on top of his head, right, and just build it quickly. Even Cracka and all these other guys, Maxine, can build this really quick. I can't, so I just use this to help me build out the layout I need this to be. So it'll be one grid up here, another grid down here, another div. Let me see. So I'm gonna do it right. Let me reset this. So I would
Please, may I have some code? I like that button. That's funny.
So this would be, for example, this would be the top part, right? This would be here and here. You can actually make it expand a little bit more down. So let me get rid of this one. So you can do this. So boom, boom. Watch it. I'll do it here with the grid element. So, and then now, excuse me, here. Then now it would be a box here and then the bigger box overlapping all this. So I would do maybe this. Do here and then the text here, and then you can do the no wrap, and it can actually expand over, right? So let me copy this. So copy the code here, and all you need is just this at the bottom. And then, so here, let me build out a new one here in Breakdance. So let me just do a new section.
Hey, what the hell? Do they just hide this on mobile?
Do they?
I feel like they do.
So now there's 4 divs, right? So you got, let me add a div. So you have div, do that 4 times. So let me just move this. Let me just duplicate this text here. Let me just copy this.
They hide the images.
Breakdance lets you move all the settings over really quickly. So let me get rid of this here. Okay. So now so I'm just moving the elements over so we can kind of see it in action. So let me get rid of all the settings here.
I think we got a comment from Cracka here. He had a power outage. Elvis was right. That was a UPS noise, probably.
Oh man.
Cracka, if you're still listening, if your power comes back on, feel free to just hit that link again, and we'll definitely spin you back up.
Yeah, we need him.
Otherwise, Mark's going to have to start building with oxygen.
There's absolutely zero chance that's happening.
So okay, so you have the grid with all the elements, because that's how I design, right? You build all the stuff first, and then you kind of worry about the design later, or you build the section with what you need, and then you can work on the design. So at the grid level, so you see here it says grid. You can go to the panel here and click grid. I would change the grid size of the row to 12. Then you just paste that code in that the produce. So it's div 1, 2, 3, 4. You wouldn't do this in the real world, but then you just go to div 1, go to the next div. You type in CAL, it goes to the class system, and then div 2.
Whoa! Did those just know there was classes from the?
No. It was probably a build I had already.
Oh, okay.
Or me practicing, so I won't look dumb here on live. Then you just see AL, and then it goes to div 3. So you'll start seeing it build out, you see? And then you click on the next div, and then you go to CAL again and do div 4. Let me create that. Okay, that didn't work. Did I do it right? Div 4, div 3, 4.
Like I will say you did it the other way last. So like you went offer as 1, and then you went picture at the top as 2. You kind of went like
backwards,
clockwise.
1, 2. Okay, I did. You're right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that I messed that up. So this should be 2. Div 2.
Oh shit.
Div 3. This should be div 3. Let me change this to 4 first. Sorry, guys, I'm clicking a lot.
Good.
It's a Breakdance deal.
Air spell.
And then close. Go back up and close. This is div 3.
2, I think.
2.
Is it 2?
2. Yeah.
No, this one's 3. The bottom one here. 2 is the.
Oh. Okay, so.
I don't know.
I've lost track of which picture was which.
Yeah, me too.
Go back
now they're overlapping, so.
Yeah, 2. I think 2 is the blue one, and then the pink one is 3.
Yeah, here. I know what I did wrong. This one here should be 2.
Yeah.
Okay, there it goes. So like you get to the same, and then this here you can actually.
I mean, I think it's kind of cool that somewhat works. I don't know what it's going to look like when you go to a lower.
No, so what you have to do?
Point.
Yeah, what you have to do now is you have to recreate this on different breakpoints. Do you know what I mean? So then, if you want it, so for example, let's say I wanted to eventually, for example, if you do it on mobile, it's going to be all crushed. It's going to be squished together.
Yeah.
So then you just have to redo this as Uh, oops, reset. So you have to do it this way: 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Right? You get that code here. So obviously the order's not right, but we're not worried about the order. So then in mobile, you just go here, and you go to just you see how it's all crushed there, but
Yeah.
now in mobile you can stack it.
Ah.
So obviously you just rearrange the divs, right? Or you just change the order of these divs.
Gotcha.
But
So
you would do it that way as well. So then at that point, anytime you're moving forward, it's right.
I see.
You go to
Okay.
mobile.
I mean, that's not. I feel like that's somewhat workable. I mean, the question that I have is, I haven't built a complex grid like this, so I've literally no idea. In Breakdance, it's obviously kind of doable. Whether or not this is the right way, we could have an argument about that. But like, it's like, can you achieve the layout somehow? Obviously,
Yeah.
with code and stuff like that. I guess the answer is somewhat yes. The question, I guess, would be, if we're comparing, is like, what is, like, with maybe like bricks, ACSS, and AT, is there a simple way to do this where you could do it at the top level and then you kind of just build it all within the tool, and it breaks down like to all the other breakpoints? If the answer to that is yes, then okay, that's fine. Then the question is, like, in Breakdance land, is there a place where, like, I'm not sure if like you would say this, but like Headspin or some other tool could come in, or even like natively, and make those types of layouts even easier, moving forward?
Well,
Or is this,
they have their grid engine, but I'm not a fan of it. It's just I think Cracker's probably a little bit better at that, and he can probably spin up Breakdance and kind of do it a little bit quicker. Or I can give him access to this, and he can probably use their native template builder, which is it's just as complex as I think the Oxygen one. I think they just took it, right? They took one over the other and just displayed it differently. But the reality is, I would never do this. I would
Yeah.
never do these crazy overlaps. I'm not a fan of it.
yeah,
But you can tell from my experience just looking at the code and DreamHost, I feel like different people build different sections.
Yeah.
Right? I just feel like one guy
Yeah.
started it, then he got fired. Another guy came in. He goes, "Hey, add this section." And over the years, it looks like it's. I don't say like it looks great on the front end, but when you start diving into the code, there's no consistency, right? There's everyone's doing their own little thing to make it look cool. And my thumbs up went up. So there's different things you can do, right? I mean, that's what I've made. Like, for example, why is this section all the way across and then this section's the smallest, this call to action? There's no uniformity, right? There's nothing. Like, it doesn't, why did these break out and then underneath here? But even this is not the same size of this. Like, there's no consistency of design.
interesting.
So,
Kevin says,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Kevin says AT is the only grid builder that can do this in a UI in a builder. Okay.
Yeah. Except I
think,
guess quickly if we're considering them still around. But.
RIP. I think Bob has a question. Do you use a snippet plugin in Breakdance?
Yeah, you can use WP code. It works perfectly with Breakdance or I have a lifetime to WP extended.
Gotcha.
Is it WP extended? I forget the name of it. But it's kind of like that all-in-one. Let's see, WP extended. Yeah. So it's a plugin that has like multiple things you can do to make your WordPress life easier, like a Swiss Army knife. And they have a snippet code option in there that works with Breakdance.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what Kevin's approach would be to this, right?
Get him on the line.
Well, obviously Kevin would do it right.
He's calling you out. He's calling you out, KG.
Kevin would do
the camera.
Kevin would do it right, according to him.
I think Kevin said when one of these comments he's going to have to build this live after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should. But and then I could just copy the code and redo it.
We could just take a screenshot of it and put it into Claude. Say, build this shit.
Yeah, build it. That's what I would do.
And make it responsive, and it's done. In 10
make
seconds.
it exactly, Claude. Make it responsive and make it work. But yeah, so that's what I would do in this approach. But the reality is, I think the overall layout of the website is a little off. There's no consistency.
Yeah.
Well, and it's useful that you showed that grid building thing too, because I think people are maybe too reliant on just one single tool, and it's like you sometimes need to just branch out and grab something else from another site and just see what works. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, problem solved in that sense.
For the section below this one, like where it starts to go to the white, you know, those that you were starting there. Now, would a typical breakdance workflow be you were putting in those columns, right?
Yeah.
Is that so? It was like, is this kind of like, I'm familiar with like how Elementor used to have like sections and columns. Is that kind of what we're looking at here? Like, are you going to be able to just kind of stack like the third, you know, if we're looking at this, like the third column, so to speak, regardless of the verbiage? You
It's
see how it's
double
like,
stack.
yeah, it's doubled. So like, how would the typical breakdance workflow build this?
Well, for example, I would use the grid builder. So it'd be bots
Okay.
number 1, number 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and then 6 at the bottom.
Oh, interesting.
Right. So you can use the column builder, but the problem is when this stacks, these two are next to each other. So it's this one first, and this one, then this. Or is it
Right.
this, then this, and then 1, 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
When this stacks, it goes
hosting,
WordPress, then website, then dedicated, then
Hosting.
cloud, then
Okay.
VPS, and that whole managed virtual thing is not even listed in the stack.
It's not.
No, it's just like they're all the same. They're all the same like width
Interesting.
basically, or the same cards.
Mhm.
What the hell are they doing here? They're just like making the desktop one way more convoluted just for shits and
So
giggles.
in that case, for example, I'll put it. So columns in the realm of breakdance to me are just like divs. I'll show you on the front end. They're just like divs. It's kind of like a pre-made. So I mean, you can do the same. You can do the same thing with the grid element, and then add the 3 divs, right? So you got a div, so div, div, and then change it to 3. So like I said earlier, like you get to the same point. You may have more control because at this point on the grid element, I can do those cool things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can do those cool that grid layout, the template.
Interesting.
So for example, here on the card, let me put the card out really quick. So it's a icon, heading, text, link. It's a icon, heading, text. Oops. Since I changed it, I have to do this. Text. Since I added like an attribute, I have to do this manually. Normally you would have to do this, and then you do a link text. And then on the div, on the card itself, you would add the padding, and then you'll add the layout. And then what I would do, unfortunately, I'm not a fan. I mean, I guess I'm a fan of the presets, but you can just start labeling it during classes. Like you can go in here into the advanced system and use classes. So as you're building them, they can all stay consistent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can use their presets. For example, let's say I style this. I want it to be this small. I want it to be 300. So you just click here to preset and call it card heading. So now every time if you, for example, create another one, you can go in here and here's probably the most annoying part that it's on this side now. You can go in here and change it as a class, right? I know Kevin's gonna laugh at this system. So you can go manually and do a preset, and it kind of affects all of them at the same time.
Gotcha. Stupid question.
Yeah.
Does breakdance have components or no?
I don't even know what the components of bricks do. When you say components, what do you mean?
I just mean
like usable, like you can create one and then use it over and over.
Yeah.
I
mean, this might be query looped anyway, something like this. But
I mean, we have the magic area where we have once you create, we have the magic area where you create the card. For example, let's say you want this to pull data from a post type, right? This card here. You change it to
yeah, I mean that's one way. Obviously, this in this instance, if I was building this website, I'm almost certain that these 5 or 6 things would be custom post type, posts in a custom post type, like hosting offerings or products or something. But
Correct. Yeah.
I just meant in general, like if they didn't need singles, if they weren't custom post types, could I build one card and then just use link properties to do it in Breakdance?
No. You can't.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I know. Kind of like for example, pull the card in and then use it over and over and over.
Yeah.
And it has there's a panel that has the inputs in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, you can't do that here.
Okay.
But you can, I guess, save it as a global block and then use it over. The only problem is once you save it as a global block, it's stuck as a global block.
Then you unlink it or whatever.
Unlink it,
yeah. Then it loses the stuff. Yeah. I'm familiar. I was an Elementor user. Same shit.
Yeah. So no, we don't have components yet. I don't know if that's even coming.
I mean, there's obviously a lot of utility, but you got to kind of be in the right headspace to understand how to leverage that. So
yeah, exactly. So then you just do the cards this way, right? I will build the 4 or 5 cards and then use a grid element template to build this out.
Gotcha. Question from Bob here. Do you normally use their presets or do you use classes?
I normally in Breakdance I use a combination of both. So for example, when I use presets, it's for example this I like as I build a website, I like to.
He's back.
He's back.
He's back.
So for example, let's say this right, this little paragraph. As I build, I like to do double space paragraphs, especially if they're longer, right? Mm-hmm. That's just a design tweak that I like to do. So at this point, right, if I want to use, I know I'm going to use that over and over. I just create a preset and I always call it extended text. And then every time, so let me do here. So every time I use it, I could just go to presets and use extended text.
Okay. This is again a stupid question because I don't have enough Breakdance experience, but I understand the debate between classes and presets. I get it to a degree, but what can you affect with a preset that you can't with a class or vice versa? Or is it all just styling stuff? You can just do the same with both and they just function differently.
Yeah, you could. It's all just styling. It's pretty much Breakdance answer to classes, right? It's that style. So for example, now I can go to the card. So imagine this being a class, quote unquote. You can manage the preset. So you hit the button called Manage Preset, and then you can go in here and go to the text and change the size of it if I wanted it always to be small. If I want the weight to be 400, if I want to change it to 6 or 5, right? So you're doing this, it's like a visual builder. And then, for example, I'm going to use a class here. So you select the text, hit CAL, and call it extended text class. And you do this, you can technically, let me save that. You can technically do the same thing here. So you go, but now you have a little bit more control. You can do a background on it. You can do spacing if you want to do spacing. But you have the same control, right? You want to do letter spacing, you can. So it's a visual builder for the core elements of CSS. And then if you need to do something different, you can type it in the custom that only affects that class.
So you can put custom code into a preset that will affect every time you put a preset on something.
Yeah. Oh, no, excuse me. No, a preset is design only. So a preset can do text, fonts.
Yeah. I mean, custom CSS.
Yeah. So when you do a class, you can do custom CSS within the class itself.
Oh.
If that makes sense. So a preset's design. So for example, if I want all the text to be, all my headers should be the same, you create an H1 preset, for example, and then every time you do a website or H2 preset, and then you just always use that preset every time you use H2.
So what's the difference between that and a global style for an H2 in that case?
Well, for example, with Breakdown, with Headspin, we control all the headings, but it's the same thing. So if I wasn't using Headspin, they have a global. Let me save this. They have a global settings, and you can go in here and manipulate each. You can go in each heading if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So every time you use, for example, this heading here has a tag of H2. It probably won't work because I have a Headspin installed. But you'll be able to manipulate. Let's say if this is a standard, then you can go in here and under advanced, you go to headings, H2s, you should be able to change. There you go.
I see. So it affects all of them. Where
All
are
the
those?
H2s
Where?
globally, yeah.
Okay.
So, just real quick. So,
He's back and he
Cracka
doesn't
left.
have the hat on.
Oh yeah, shit! I missed the hat. I
The
gotta
child
get it.
stole the hat.
Gotta go get it. I can't let people see that it's detachable. So Cracka left because of a power outage, and Brendan left because he's Irish.
Precisely.
Okay.
I'm trying to. Bob asked a question: does this code output differently? And I don't think so, because it doesn't do inline styling like other. It's in a sense. I feel like it's a. Here, I'll share the link here. Can I share the link? I gotta go to YouTube.
If you put it in the private chat in this thing, then I can. Actually, I think Maddie's the only person that's gonna be able to share a link. I think so. Just put it in the private chat, and then Maddie can copy it into the
I don't
into
remember
his
the private chat.
the main chat.
Will do.
Bottom
my hat is back on.
left, I think, or the thing works wherever.
Go to the group here. So you can look at this. I feel like on the output of it, it does CSS, like it does a class for it, but on the builder, they call it presets, which it only affects like the styling. You can't do much beyond that. You can only affect the text, headers. All the icons can have a preset, and then you can just affect all the icons, right? So all the icons will have.
Does it actually do that? It actually just it makes the when you make a preset, it actually just makes it a class. Is that true? That's
Let me
kind of
see.
that's kind of interesting. If it did that, like it seems.
For example, like you see this preset here.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it probably adds it adds.
Or is that a variable?
It adds
Preset
a variable.
ID.
Yeah, it adds a fundamental variable here, or a root variable.
Interesting.
So it adds. So those I added. I changed the. Oh yeah, see, I changed the weight of it, which is not 800, it's 400. Hold on, let me click here. Let me see what it added.
Just reading the chat.
What is
Chat's
She's
been
one
great.
of one breakdance influencers.
Yeah, Maddie's catching up on the chat. Chat's been great. Appreciate all y'all.
Oh god, I hate everybody. So it
I
adds a
do
root
appreciate you
preset.
guys. Like everybody in the chat, you guys are awesome.
So it adds a preset variable. So every time you use it, it's always going to be assigned that variable.
Gotcha.
It just creates a really long string to it.
I wonder why they didn't just call them classes. Well, I mean, I guess you can have classes though, obviously.
Well, it didn't have
But-
classes at the beginning. Breakdance 1 didn't have classes.
Oh,
We fought back, and they kind of did it because we fought, and then they kind of had it hidden, right? It's unfortunately it's a hidden feature. That's why they added that preset. That's why they added that CAL class to it.
yeah. I mean, we don't need to go super deep into like the decision making of this product, but I mean, but I mean, to me though, it's like why. And I know I'm probably way behind the times here, so I apologize. But
No, and I'm a breakdance fanatic, so it's not like I'm a breakdance defender, right?
I love talking to Ruben. I love when Ruben comes on because he knows this tool so well, and it's like I've seen it a few different times, and it's like I'm wondering, like from a product creation decision. This is no shade. I'm literally just wondering: is why wouldn't you just literally, if you were going to call something presets, why wouldn't you just, if they're basically do similar things to classes, why wouldn't you, even if you wanted to rename them, which I don't necessarily agree with, but like, why wouldn't you just call them presets, make them act like classes, and then just be classes effectively? Or again, yeah, just like, I'm just kind of confused on why there's two things, I guess. I know it's probably to make it easier.
I wish Lewis and our Lewis, our breakdance, would get more to kind of talk about the philosophy behind it, but he leaves it up to interpretation, right? So this is why I like Kevin's approach. He did that blog post a few days. I hate promoting Kevin, but he did that blog post the other day where he talks about the naming convention. Everyone has their own naming conventions. Divi, all these other builders, which are great tools in a sense, right? All have their own naming convention. One's a block, a div, a circle, one's a section. So everyone likes to create their own naming convention. I think Lewis is part of that as well, right? They have their own naming conventions. But if you're coming, so I think the reason why he did it, I'm speaking out loud and I could be wrong. Lewis, send me an email again if you need to. But a preset, it's easier for like an Elementor user to understand the idea of a preset and a Divi user to understand the idea of a preset versus having them teaching them the idea of a class. Do you know what I mean? Like it's an easier bridge to get them to the world of classes. It's like a runaway. Like Okay, you're coming from, because this is where the platform of Breakdance stands as, from what I understand it to be. It's a Elementor replacement. It's the better version of Elementor. It's a cleaner output, better interface, faster interface. So, but it's a step. So if you're an Elementor user, you don't have your mom and pop website and you want to do Breakdance, that you're already used to presets, so you don't have to learn anything new. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean,
So that's kind of the philosophy behind it. And that's what I understand breakdance to be. It can be super powerful, that's why it's been, it can be an extreme opposite of super unique. Cracker created his own menu. So you know what I mean? So it can do really powerful things, but it just doesn't. I mean, there's no, the pathway for breakdance is, it wants to get the easier users, or the starters.
yeah. Interesting. Okay. Dope.
So I think if you wanted to be professional, you can. Like under my hands, I use consistency. I use classes. I use presets when I'm used to them. But I try to keep everything consistency and use that
Yeah.
philosophy to build even within breakdance.
Interesting.
But I have noticed clients do love breakdance, how easy it is to use and edit. I have a client I built a website for who just changes the text every once in a while, but they love it. Like I have a 70-year-old man who's responsible. I do his church website. He goes in there and makes changes to it, and it's easy for him. Like he has a zero training on page builders, but he gets it. Like he's able to go in here. Oh, the background. Let me add an image. Boom, you go to the steps, right? It's super super easy. And he was able to do all these weird edits to his website, or edits that he wanted to do without bothering me. So it's a catch-22, right? So I build websites for the mom and pop shops, that these people that want to go in there, that pay me for a one-time build and go in there. And I think Breakdance is a solution for that. For example, my sister I built a brick website, which Kevin highlighted it on one of his lives like a year ago. And she's like, I'm so lost in this builder. Like, how do I change things? I'm confused. Like, it just seems daunting versus a breakdance website. She was able to go in here, so I converted it to a breakdance website for her. She's over there making changes by herself.
Mm-hmm.
So
interesting.
So Bob said it's a lot easier to use for beginners than bricks.
It's just I'm concerned with all the beginner-friendly builders that whatever I learn or whatever I do in them, as soon as I go more professional, I have to relearn a lot of stuff because they taught me stuff that isn't true, or like that just doesn't exist in CSS and HTML.
I think it depends on what your goal is, because if you're going to be a professional web designer, at some point you're probably going to like discover classes even by accident. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So you're gonna, and that's literally almost what happened to me. I was using Elementor, and I knew what classes, IDs, and all that was, but I wasn't using them that much over there. Anytime I needed to do something crazy, I would like just drop in some code and be like, oh, that worked. I don't exactly know how that worked, but that's great. And then I found like so many people's content, whether it was bricks. I kind of missed the boat on Oxygen initially, but once I started watching people just using bricks in general, I was like, oh, this is much closer to how, just, developing in like Notepad would be, or, VS Code or something. And it's like, I don't want to go all the way in, but I think it's important to understand those fundamentals. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool that all these exist.
That was kind of my experience with Beaver Builder. I mean, you can put classes on stuff, so yay for that. But it's like, in order to do anything with them, really, you need to go into WordPress Customizer or into Beaver Builder's own CSS thing and just type your CSS in there, and then it kind of becomes, it's like it's not interwoven with the interface. It's not meant to be used that way. So you can have a class and use it as a utility here and there, but at best it's meant to be done in an auxiliary manner, because if you were really using classes the way a developer would, or somebody who just writes HTML and CSS, then Beaver Builder would just get in your way left, right, and center.
I hate to agree with Maxime, but he's right. Throw his comment up. I hate that I have to agree with the dude.
What's he saying? Hang on. Basically, the first step towards bricks. Yeah.
Well, actually, in reality, Breakdance would be the first step towards Etch when that comes out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, Cracka's back.
Crack is back.
he's back.
Okay.
Welcome back, sir. Hey.
Thank you. I can't, unfortunately, my face can't show.
Okay.
All
He went
good.
through hell or something.
He
Oxygen
held him
beta
back,
blew up
dude.
his computer.
Oh man, Lewis came to
So
his
what
door.
happened? What did I miss there?
No,
Yeah,
he was
I
given
had
a teaching and it
had,
just blew up.
had an outage. So
You just disappeared in the middle of the
unfortunately,
sentence.
so I have to let me share my screen.
Yes, sir.
I think he went back to start using some code and then figured it
No,
out.
He wanted some time to figure out how to
He
use
wanted some
Oxygen
time to
6
figure it
because
out.
it's tough.
And then he
It's
made,
very commendable.
can't even remember what I. Okay. So okay.
see, it
Yeah.
came
So
back better than before.
Look at this.
It came back better than
what?
crackers are working.
He's been working hard.
Yeah. So what I was doing was I think the last thing I was doing was trying to show uh, how I set minimum width to this.
Yeah.
So the size. All right. So let's look at the front end. Let's put it there. The screen. I think I should just put it on the side. So unfortunately, we don't have a grid preview in the builder, so it's kind of difficult to see what is going on. So by default, the grid row takes the height of the tallest grid child. So I need to bring this down to, let's say, a maximum height of maybe 1,000 to give me almost. So I'm not sure if we are going to need as much grid. So if we make it a maximum height of 600, this is about the width, maybe 700. So we're trying to ascertain the width, the height, the kind of height that we want. We're looking at what was the website again? Bluehost, right?
The Dream, whatever, DreamHost,
Not
DreamHost.
Bluehost, DreamHost.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got some blue in there too.
Oh, is it Blue? DreamHost.
DreamHost is fine. Yeah. So,
Okay.
judging from the scathing, burning comments in the comment section, in the chat, there's no grid builder here that you were using while I was gone.
No,
Nope.
Okay.
no. I was going on the
All right.
website to build a grid and then importing the code over.
So we're looking at a height that is kind of, let me see how tall. Well, we're not doing pixel perfect. So probably we'll go with 800. Okay. All right. So if I go with 800 with 12 rows, I could just come here to that container and go to the layout. And then instead of 20, I'm going to use this interface, to be frank, is really confusing. A lot of clicks. So 12. All right. And I'm going to make that maximum height. Did I say 800, right? Yep, 800. Then we're going to start from here. This is going to start from, the row is going to start from somewhere at the very bottom, okay, which is like, we made this 12. Let's just say from 4 all the way to the end. So I'm going to say start from 4 all the way to -1, okay, and save that. The image needs to be Let's see. So if we set the image to stretch and cover, we are not going to get this image. It's going to cut it off. So we're going to avoid doing that. So let's refresh the front end and see what we have. So we have something similar, except that theirs is a bit wider. Yeah. So mine needs to come down. For some reason, my text seems to have some, yeah, default paddings. So that's a problem. Default paddings is not good for the header. That is why I'm having issues. So I'm going to come here. We'll actually style the H2. I don't want the default paddings. That's my H2. Sorry, default margin. Did I say padding? Are you guys still there?
Yes, we
Yeah,
are.
sorry, we're still there.
Is everyone here?
I'm
Yeah.
quite honestly, I'm
Yeah,
still
we're here.
So
catching up on the goddamn
going to
chat.
spacing. Yeah.
Sorry
Okay.
about that.
So for the H2, we don't want the margins up and down. Okay. We don't want that. So I'm going to save that. And that is going to give me something close. So I'm going to remove these grids for now. Okay. So I need more space here. Uh, to have that space, um, the gap there, this we need more space on this side. I think what I might do here is I might just reduce this the size the padding on the right hand of the this of this section.
I like the idea of
That
putting a transform on the
that is
image.
that is
That'd be
one
cool.
way because I mean that is going to make this is what is going to make my image bigger. And this you see, my image is not as big because I have a very large gap here. You see, they have a little, so that allows the image to grow. You know,
But what
so
would be
what
your
I might
thoughts?
do is
What would be your thoughts of applying a transform here, or just using transforms at all in this layout? Would that make things more complicated in your estimate, or could it help?
yeah, transform does what transform does is takes document it moves the documents without regard to the document flow. It moves objects in the
Yes.
document disregarding the yeah. So you need something that will if I use transform, it's going to move it and leave unnecessary spaces without other element filling it up if you need to.
Hmm.
So this is why I wouldn't want. I probably would first of all try a negative margin um, uh, for for this. Probably let me just drag it. Okay. So, but I have to be careful so I don't introduce. So I don't introduce. I don't want to introduce. So let's just go wild there for once, and I know we're gonna have a scroll bar. Okay, so you can see that. So we able to make that image as big as
Mm.
this, and depending on my grid, I probably would need more grid to be able to position this image exactly the way I would like it to be. So I probably would need more grid. I'm not going to use this like negative, but let's just leave that for now. So the row, I probably will need more rows to be able to position this image. I used 20 at first, then I brought it down to 12. So let's see. I probably need something like 18 or 17, maybe 16. Okay, so let's try 16 or 17. So I'm going to select the parent, and then I will go to that. So the number of clicks that it requires to go in here is not good. This sometimes I actually forget where I'm supposed to click. No, not there. Here, make it 17. So that means if we make it 17, this is going to start have a different row start, which is going to be 6. So this will start at 6. No, did it say 6? 6, 7, 8, 9. What just happened there? Something went wrong.
Oxygen 6, man. Damn, dude.
Okay. What happened there? I can't even track what I did. Okay, spacing. That was okay. The layout grid. This was 12. This is the row. We made it 16. Okay, making this 16, we need this to start much lower. Okay. All right. Okay. Negative margin is not a good thing. It will never work because this is going to have responsive issues. So unless we're using calculated values like a viewport with, so okay. So I'll just make it a -4 VW, and then I will just hide this if it overflows on the section. So I'm gonna go to layout, position layout. Where is the overflow? Okay, overflow hidden. But yeah, that's not good. It's not there.
This is a crazy challenge, really. I mean, I don't. I don't know off the top of my head how I would do it. And I mean, I guess while I was gone, you guys probably looked into the DOM
What
of
was
the
your
original website.
Yeah.
size? Okay.
Did they find a sensible approach to it on DreamHost on the actual website? Is that any good, or is it messy?
It's really messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, like the guys in the comments said, in the chat, like bricks with AT would be a good tool to do that. As in, AT has a pretty powerful grid builder, but even like even bricks without AT, you're kind of shit out of luck if you want to pull this off.
So we're gonna start this at 1, and where do we end it? End it at 6. The grid, this ending is kind of not working as it should because all these are set to display as block. So they're all gonna set. I'm gonna set all of them to display grid. Sorry, flex. Okay, so you can see it adjusted. Okay, save it, refresh. All right. So you can see they stay in their place now. They're not moving up around. Before they were, it was, when you reduce the screen size, they were moving away from the grid. So now it's staying in its place. Okay. So that's basically but I'm still having issues with placement. So what I might do here is let's just hack it out once and for all. I'm going to remove, I'm not a fan of the negative margin. So I'm going to take it off. What I will do it instead would be to come to this container, the section container, and I'm just going to apply another class to it. I'm just going to say, I don't even know, container X, you know, and I'm going to give it, the margin was auto. So what I want to do is I want to set the margin instead of auto. I want to unset it. So if I unset it, that is going to make this go all the way to this part. But I'm not sure I want to unset that side. Okay. So now this is going to need a lot of some calculations. So what I want to do is to keep this on this side. I want to keep these on this side. Yeah, so that's what I'll do. I'll unset. I'll need some calculated values here. Okay. I will need to make this 100%. That's what I'll need to do. 100%. Section container. So if I make the width 100%, sorry, I already did that. So I'll make a max width 100%. Okay, let's go. So I make a max width 100%, but then I want to subtract the side width from it. So I want to make it 100% minus this. So this space here, the space, the difference between this and the 100% will be the 100 viewport width minus the side width divided by 2. So that's what it's going to be. So instead of doing that, I could just say max width is equals to calc 100 viewport width minus something divided by 2. So that something divided by 2 will be var. I had the side width. Side width. Okay. Thought I had it, yeah? Okay.
I seem to remember you set it up.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah.
But yeah, that pushes it out
Well,
of bounds, like
that,
too
yeah,
far.
that should be. Sorry, I think I'm placing the.
I'm gonna quickly cut in at
Placing,
this point.
yeah,
Um,
this.
just looking at the time, I mean, obviously, I missed a bunch. So we saw some breakdance in there. I caught the tail end of that,
Yeah.
and I'm I'm wondering how much further we want to go on this one, because
Mm,
I'm honestly I'm watching with great interest. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is I find it really interesting going through this and looking for the solutions, and also your approach to it. But we're also coming up on, or like we're close to 2 hours 15 at this point. Mark, clue me in. Like, did we see a lot of breakdance yet? And
Definitely saw a good bit. Yeah.
yeah. I'm thinking like two things I kind of want to still touch on before the stream is over. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I can go
yeah.
another hour. It's not a problem. But the one thing is, first of all, I want to catch up with the chat. I start a couple of messages that I want to just highlight. You might have talked about them anyway, but I didn't. So that's number one. And number two is thought that Mark brought up the other day about like what we're doing here is, I think, truly intriguing. Like, I love sinking my teeth into these kinds of challenges. It reminds me of a video when they did that. I think it was a speed build challenge. Like Jamie's speed build challenges, there was this Polk Street buy right market thing, and then Kevin rebuilt a bunch of that, and I felt compelled to kind of rebuild the header or the, like the hero of that. And I made a video about that,
Okay.
and I had so much fun doing it. I just got obsessed with it. So and this is kind of what I'm watching here now, and
Okay.
I get the same feeling. Still, the question that Mark brought up that I find really interesting is, like, ultimately for us as business professionals, what does this get us? Like, it's really interesting to talk about tools and to talk about, how do we tackle this and that challenge. But in the end, if we need to churn out websites for clients, is that helpful at all? So I kind of want to get into that point towards the end of today's stream a little bit, get your thoughts on that, and also get the thoughts of the people in the chat. But perhaps not yet. So what are we thinking? Should we perhaps take a moment to go through the chat? Do we want to continue just a while longer with the build?
Yeah, we could go through the chat. Yeah, I mean, time has gone, so we could go through the chat.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to jump soon.
You're gonna have to
But
jump soon.
if you want to go through the ones that you thought were interesting, Maddie, because we may have discussed some of them, but maybe there's some
let's
key
see.
insights.
So Bob mentioned at the beginning, he found a great CSS site on YouTube called Future Full Stack. I don't know, I haven't seen it, but I figured I'd point it out. So perhaps if people are interested in that, Future Full Stack seems to be a YouTube channel. I didn't have to, I'm not gonna look it up right now, but it sounds interesting. Pavel was asking, why am I always wearing this stupid hat? So it's actually a funny story. The hat chose me. It's not the other way around. It's like a Harry Potter type of thing. And then, but Max says, I like the hat. Too few people wear classy hats these days. And that's the actual reason. I wear it because I like it. But I don't wear it in my room most of the time. I wear it for the streams because it's a part of who I am.
Part of the brand.
It's my self-expression. Nobody wants to hear this, but like typesetters vanished with desktop publishing, our profession faces extinction. That's Max going. That's an original Max going here.
We should talk more about that, Max. That's a good topic.
Yeah, I
think he had to run, but
when I just read this, he did run. I want to. Perhaps we should bring Max back for another Bridge Builder Brains episode and go into this, because I have a take on this, but it might be wishful thinking. But yeah, we'll see. Max, you're on the hook now. You're. Then Lex says, "Guys, leave Ruben alone." So
I appreciate it, Lex.
Ruben, just so you know,
Ruben. It was a Ruben attack fest. I didn't want to read the comments. I'm already sweating and nervous being on the live. And then seeing everyone just talk mess about me makes me really sad.
Look, let me put it this way: you have one person in the audience who has your back. One person, Ruben. That's karma.
All I need.
Okay? That's what karma myself. Tastes like. Kevin says, it's a horror show on DreamHost also. I need to have... Yeah, please do a video on how to build this. I want to see that. And then Kevin says, Ruben trolls me all the time. He deserves this. Dave then says, it's scary building live. You guys are great, and I want to echo that. That's really awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. Thanks for doing this. It really means a lot. The problem with most of these generators, they just use FR units without min-max, says Maxime.
Yeah.
Maxime, who told you to put a min-max switch into the AT grid builder? Without me, you'd still be doing FRs. Admit it. I was watching the slides, but I had to get my kid to bed, so now I'm 25 minutes behind. Yeah, that was about the time it took my kid to fall asleep as well. So, but yeah, it's mostly useless fun comments that I highlighted. But good discussion here, really good discussions. Brendan is commenting. Ruben is at the reaping stage of the sow then reap life cycle.
Hey, if they don't donate $2, they don't read their comments.
In Colombian pesos, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's that. Steve Kinsey says that's interesting. He says you can even build these overlapping images in Elementor easily as well. I'm curious now. I kind of want to see that. So expect a message from us. Props to both for the effort. Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of what I highlighted in the chat.
Nice. Sweet.
So
how we looking?
Cracka's still breaking his
Cracka is on a mission.
He's breaking this.
I mean,
he's obsessed with getting this
I
right.
don't even know what is going on here again.
It's not you, it's the builder, bro. It's not you.
I thought I had a class here and I can't find the class anymore.
We can do this easier. You can probably do this easier in Oxygen than you can in Breakdance. Or in Oxygen Classic.
One.
This would be easier in Oxygen.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make a video just like Kevin, just to do it in there.
Manual.
Yeah.
He's still
Once
we
cooking.
go off this live, he'll still be editing this.
Big props.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely close there.
Remember to eat and drink.
Yeah. Breathe.
Yeah,
Don't
I
forget
need
to
this
breathe.
to overlap. Okay, yeah. For it to overlap, we need to put them on the same row. One. Start one in. Two.
Super whack.
I want to meet the people that designed this website. I just like who thought of this?
Whose idea was this?
Who
What
thought
you
this
mean
was
the
a
original thing? Who at DreamHost thought of this?
Yeah. What did developer just say? I'm gonna make this really cool blocks and really cool.
It's probably somebody just like the intern in Figma did this, and then some poor schmuck was like, "Oh fuck, I got to do this." Really?
Okay,
Funny.
Bob
just wanted
Bob
to.
says going to eat my Canadian eggs before the US moves in and takes them. Yeah,
There you go.
it's 50% funny and kind of scary.
So go back to my screen. Maybe I'm gonna show you something here. Like I just finished the other area. The other.
For some reason, I can't find my classes.
He just keeps losing stuff. Just
Okay,
keeps
that-
getting lost.
I'm still clipping
Cracker,
that.
you're making oxygen look bad.
I
Cracker,
can't
stop.
find my
How-
classes.
Stop.
The question is, I styled. You all
It's like,
were here
this
when I
goes on
styled the
Facebook.
offering.
It's like,
I styled it, right? I styled this. I couldn't have styled it without a class. So where is the class?
Find my classes.
I'm gonna post this on Facebook, and I'm gonna go Cracka after 2 hours and 20 minutes of bridge builders, and then just this clip for some reason I can't find my class.
No,
I'm
I
gonna make a
can't.
shirt. I'm making
Okay,
sure it's
how
just
do
where
I
my
refresh
classes.
Where is it? I don't know where they are.
I'm gonna
I mean,
cry.
I select something. Yeah, this is what I expect to see, right? I had an H2 class here that I used in making these, I'm giving it a maximum width because I didn't want to give it on the H2. I mean, I didn't want, like, if I put another H2 here, I'm pretty sure it's not going to take the same, the same style. Will it?
Funny.
I don't know.
Oh, now you do a Z
Classes.
index. Do a Z index.
So, yeah, maybe these should overlap some more. Okay, just wanted something like that. Okay, not exactly, but so now we need to do the hosting stuff for this. Give it class and give it a max width of how many RAM M. Oh, so I see what they did here. I think they manually broke this thing apart, but that is not actually good. But I'm not gonna do that. So, but let's see. All right. So, sort of about that. Then we can now have our content gap for here and here. Perhaps we need to put that the gap. Where is it? Gap. Man, this interface is not okay.
I love
Why
that.
would I be
Not
looking for
okay.
gap? Not
This
okay at
interface
all.
needs help.
This is not okay.
So
Not cool.
I have my layout here is display flex. The gap should be my content gap. Flex is supposed to be downwards. Yep. So is that big enough? Yep. Content gap is good enough. Okay. All right. So we have that. That's about it. Yep.
That is impressive.
Finally,
I'm still gonna say that's impressive,
finally,
despite everything we
Um,
just witnessed.
finally. So I probably I'm just gonna.
Maxime says, "Don't click on the breakpoints." I'm gonna say, "Don't take anything. Just
Don't
close
click
the
Just gonna
anything.
hack this now, and just say img. No, no, escape. I'm gonna do it like this. This is the disaster. Um, I'm just gonna just make it quick. So I'm just gonna assuming we're not gonna put any other image there.
Oh, I'm seeing
I'm
this
just gonna
melt.
put a border radius to 10. Okay. 1 VW. Two. How round is that? 1 VW is okay. Save that. Okay, so we have something similar. Not exactly pixel perfect. You know, if we want it to be pixel perfect, this could start somewhere here. What am I doing? Nope, it was okay. I broke it. Can't even see what is inside here. This interface is not okay at all. Start and end. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to start here. But the image is not just going to allow that. So image isn't going to allow that.
I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the most epic chats we've had on this.
So I guess this is okay.
Not anything.
Are you guys not entertained?
Oh yes, we are. So conclusion would we say 7 out of 10? 8 out of 10.
Maybe 5/10
Yeah, but no, I mean
for the
quite
time.
seriously, I know
For the time wasted.
you guys didn't come here to necessarily. I mean, the mission
So
is
what
never
I've
to
been able to do
advertise.
is
Sorry.
I've, I've been able to avoid using negative. Now all this is it's not about to show I can do it,
Yeah,
but how do you do it in a way that works? For example, you
that's
see what
right.
is happening here. So let's look at DreamHost's. Um, I mean, apart from the fact that they're using, they're using these two are on the same section, this and this. They're just
Mhm.
side by side, and these are side by side. Maybe that is better for, for responsiveness. So
Oh
when we
yeah.
get to a breakpoint like this, we probably just need to break it apart. I don't know. So these are the kind of things that take time to. You want to really. My image is already squishing.
Mm.
You want to take time to look at it and be sure that the approach you're using is okay. Perhaps on a second thought, I'll probably use their own approach because on smaller breakpoint, how do you want it to stack? But how do you want it? How do they want it to stack on smaller breakpoint? I think that's one of the most important thing. Looking at the smaller breakpoint, I think they just take it out. Where is it? I can't even see it again. So it's like they take it out completely. Yeah, offering hosting services.
It's there. It's just they're just sales right there. Go down, go down.
All
There
right,
you
so
go.
they take out the image
Yeah, and they just have little
completely
cells.
because it probably wouldn't make sense, you know. Yeah, they're taking out the image in the smaller breakpoint. So, all right, I think I'm done here.
That's the
Yeah.
that sums it up. Seriously, hats off to you, man.
Yeah,
And I can say that with my hat. Well
So,
fucking done.
I wonder
So
we should have used Oxygen Classic and see if we can.
yeah, but no.
we should, we should have scaled proportionately, but it's not scaling. That's the problem. I'm just
Mm.
wondering why not. Why isn't it scaling proportionately? Um,
You need to let go, man.
Yeah, yeah, it's
yeah.
okay. We
Yeah, I mean, I'm done. You know.
There's a point where you need to say, I did what I could.
but I think if Oxygen, the team sees this, they can kind of see like the struggles that we're having, right? Because we're
Yeah,
real people using the software, and I
that's
think
the
in that,
thing. I mean, that's what I was gonna it's kind of starting to say earlier. Like, people don't necessarily come on to advertise a builder, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, this is the first one where I would really say it's not really great advertisement for Oxygen 6. And
If a professional like he struggles understanding where all the elements are at, what would a basic person, you know what I mean? Like if someone
yeah, I
coming across the
mean, this is
builder,
Cracka we're talking about.
yeah, dude, this is a genius. So if he's struggling understanding the basics, which I think like in any, I think in bricks, he could probably build this out really quick.
Yeah.
And if he's struggling just finding the controls to do the things he needs to do, it's speaks volume to the UI that needs to be improved before launch.
But then again, let's face it. I mean, I kind of stumbled on a nugget here. I just randomly Googled hosting company USA because I was like, oh shit, they're asking for a website. I guess I better give them one.
Yeah, yeah.
I opened like 6 websites and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. Let's do this. And now this is where we are. So I'm partly responsible for this. But no, I mean, this is a challenging layout in any way, shape, or form, right? Like in any scenario, you would have some. This is an uphill battle, but there's builders that makes this easier for you, and then there's some that make it harder. And Brendan is back. Welcome back, Brendan.
Brandy's back.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
All right.
How was your
My
run?
image is no longer switching. Good now.
He's still going.
What did I
Where's
do?
Mark? Oh, Mark left.
All right. So it's because of how the interface is, it's kind of difficult to quickly jump in and do breakpoints. So yeah, say somewhere at tablet, you probably want to go in and just reset everything. Make it auto one display grid. Yep. All right. What am I doing? Grid child. Yep.
I think we need to. We're at 2 hours 30.
Hmm.
You know what, I kind of see what I see happening. Benjamin is going, guys, he's still working on it. Yeah, please pull him out of the rabbit hole. That's exactly what I'm going to do now.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
like Maxime said, bring him back next week. Cracker's still going to be working on it by then anyway.
He's gonna make a tutorial on how to do this the right way.
Oh, Andre just come in. Andre, you're in for a fun ride when you rewatch this. Steve says, I will do that for you. So yeah, I mean, I could imagine it sort of seems like we stumbled on something here that seems to inspire people. I mean, Kevin mentioned that he kind of wants to build this. If I had any time left in my life, I would probably give this a shot, but not in the next 2 months. But
I would like to see the Elementor, like if it can be done. Using
yeah, exactly. That's
Elementor.
what that was Steve. He said, Steve Kinsey. Hang on, let me bring up his comment.
Steve,
here.
record your screen and just, you don't have to talk, just kind of build it out really quick, and it would.
What right now? I'm not. Yeah,
No, not now, but he can like at home.
I'm not bringing any extra people in right now.
Like,
I could, but
just record it and then upload to YouTube and share the link in the group.
that's right. I kind of want to see this, and I'm like, perhaps this could even become a brains episode. I don't know yet. I'm like, I think Brendan, we should do some brainstorming on this.
Absolutely.
If we could revisit this with a bunch of people, perhaps from today's chat, whoever's interested in doing this.
Yeah, we had a couple
There's
people
no-
mention like visual grid builders too. So there's a couple different.
Yeah,
I guess Green Shift also does that.
exactly. Somebody
Playdead,
mentioned that.
Advanced Themer. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I would have just done this in Advanced Themer, been done. You can do the mobile formatting.
Really,
Be done with it.
I just
Yeah.
bought it. I just bought it and downloaded it and just threw it in the trash.
I saw you had it installed on your Breakdance site. I was like, oh, interesting. I didn't know this.
No, it's a fake. It was a troll.
What is Andre's ask? Andre just came in and he's asking, what is Cracka trying to fix? So the answer is the last 2.5
get off
hours
the
of his
computer.
life.
No one should. Yeah, you guys
He's
shouldn't look at me again. I'm just listening to you guys, but
He's
I'm
obsessed.
not doing.
That's dedication right there, though. I would have given up. I would have thrown in the towel. I would
have used negative
asked
margins
AI.
and called it a day.
Yeah, this is what I do.
Margin.
I try. Yeah, I was able to stop doing that. I was able to achieve it without using a negative margin. So
going to be 4 hours of sleep tonight for you, maximum.
Yeah, no way. I'm not living here. I have other things to do.
But thank you
All
for
right.
inviting us
So
on and showcasing breakdance again.
But let me just quickly get back to like a sort of 10,000-foot view, or whatever you US people say. Um, it's like I brought that up a little earlier. That's something Mark and Brennan and me discussed the other day. How relevant is this to us as professionals, as people who do this for clients? And I'm sort of torn on this, because on the one hand, I mean, every time we do a bridge builders episode, we look at different tools, we look at different ways of building, and that you can make the argument that ultimately what you really need to be able to do is just churn out fucking websites and
Yeah.
do it fast so you make the money, right? That could be one argument, but then there's the Kevin argument, like what there's a craft to this. There's a way of doing this properly. There's a way of making scalable, maintainable, high quality websites that you should do in order to not do your clients a disservice and to just provide fucking quality, right? And then what I was thinking as I was watching today's build is I was kind of asking myself, how realistic is it that even we have to build something like what we just watched? Is it like, is that even going to happen? Like certainly for my clients, it's like I have a dentist, like there's a dentist, there's a daycare nanny, there's, I don't know, a baker or something like that, right? So it's like small time businesses, and what they need is just a website to be on the internet, and then to be found in their hometown. And for that, you probably don't need to do any of this, right? You don't need to create any intricate layouts. You could just come up with, you could just slap frames on it, and or Brixies or whatnot, and just snap them together and write
Yeah.
some nice copy, and
That's a
that's
good
good.
point.
And then,
I think it's worth
so
mentioning, like, also, like, what clients do you have? I mean, you, Matt, for instance,
yeah,
it sounds like you are working with them in the very initial stages. You're taking them maybe through a Figma wireframe. You're perhaps helping them with copy. You're kind of doing a white glove treatment there. A lot of people just get a Figma file from the guy that designed it, and they're like, "Oh my god, this guy did this thing in Figma. I have to now recreate it." So I think there's a
bingo.
lot of freelancers out there that maybe struggle with, like, I can't believe this guy gave us this Figma file
Yeah.
and I got to design it this way.
And you just hit the nail on the head, because that's what I was going to get to. Yeah, because like there is certainly a scenario where this can happen, because like you just said, if somebody gives you a Figma file and this is what they built, you're on the hook, because the client already saw that and the client
Yep,
wants it.
Yeah.
exactly.
And now you're up shit creek, right? So you better have a way to build this. And that's when, like, Beaver Builder would definitely leave me out in the cold with that. I don't know about Elementor, apparently not, but yeah.
Yeah, that gets back to what you were saying about, like, speed of delivering the final content to your client and getting on to the next project so you can, pay your rent. And it's like, it's hard to compete with something like Elementor that way,
Yeah.
because, it has such a massive ecosystem. There's so many add-ons, so many templates that you can choose from.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
that trade-off, I guess.
Maxime says, man, I don't count the times I struggle to reproduce some crazy designs provided by a Figma
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're in a position where you can just be like, yeah, we're not going to do that. Like, we're just going to, or you send it back to your Figma guy and be like, yeah, that's not happening. And that's the other thing, is like, there's the designer mentality and the developer mentality who's building something, that's, first of all, mobile responsive, because sometimes we'll send you some intricate layout on a desktop and they don't, like, the Figma person doesn't even think about mobile. Which we might even be kind of running into here with this design. It's like, I don't know if the Bluehost or DreamHost people looked at this on mobile and
Well, in mobile, the photos are gone. You know what I mean? So
right.
it's just to a certain point, to a tablet, let's say. And then after that, there's no more images. So it's just kind of a weird approach, I would think.
And it's all the more reason I think people need to, if you're a developer, you're the one building the site in a page builder or whatever you're using, you got to have that conversation with your Figma guy and with the client potentially too, and have the, make sure you bring these things up, because I mean, we've all got them. We've all received a Figma file probably from some
Yeah.
really good designer that's like, I don't really think this is the best way to build this either.
Okay, hang on a second. I am distracted. Keep talking so nobody notices I'm distracted.
I got a question for you guys because Ruben, were you a big Oxygen user too before
No,
Breakdance?
I worked for an agency for 5 years, and we did Divi websites.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So during that time of the agency work, when I worked for this company, they the I guess the my lead or the boss was always interested in finding new builders, and showed me Oxygen. Like, hey, try out Oxygen on a build. It seems pro, and he didn't like that. We used to crank out a full website in one day, and with Oxygen, the huge learning curve from a visual builder to an Oxygen was significant. It would take me now 5 to 6 days to do it,
Mhm.
and then slowly it got better and faster, but it'll still take little bit longer. And that's when I stumbled upon Kevin's content with Oxygen and then PermaSlug and a couple of these other guys, and found all the plugins that Oxygen that everyone produced. So that's where I met Rakota and kind of became friends with him, uh, Renato, excuse me, through the plugin Rakota for Oxygen. So it's kind of like the
Yeah.
advanced themer for Oxygen, right?
Yeah. That's an interesting point too, because I think that's what people kind of rubbed them the wrong way about the Breakdance release was like those third-party add-ons really did get people to adopt Oxygen more.
Yeah.
Automatic CSS, Rakota, Oxy Maven, stuff like that. Like that. I mean, I wasn't even in that community, but I could see that it was like these other things that enhance the adoption of Oxygen too, which is
Well, it's kind of like
interesting.
advanced themer for bricks, right? It enhances the experience for the people
Totally.
building websites. So
Well, and I would say the same thing about Bricks. Like, would Bricks be as popular as it is without Kevin out there pumping videos and Maxime developing AT and all the other add-ons?
exactly, and it's just from my experience. Like I manage 42 websites, but the client still goes in there and makes changes on sometimes. So like they're like, hey, I don't want to bother Ruben for a small text change. I want to go in there. And from all the builders I've used from Oxygen, Divi, Elementor, Breakdance has gotten the most compliments on how easy it is for them to understand the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Obviously, they won't be able to do this layout we're building, but for them, if I build a design and they can go in there and make changes, for some reason, everyone loves. I say 9 out of 10 people love Breakdance, like from the owner perspective of the business, the baker, the plumber, the roofer, right?
Sure.
So
That's important, right? I mean,
that's important
how
to me because
yeah.
I can manage it and make it better, make cool effects like this, and they can just change
All right.
pictures.
So officially, I'm gonna
he's,
say,
still, he's still
uh,
going.
I'm gonna make an official statement right now. Yeah, the reason I'm gonna make this statement is that I thought I was going crazy. I thought I didn't know what I was doing, and then I decided, okay,
What we've been
let
thinking for the
me
last 30 minutes.
let me use the browser inspector and write the CSS. I'm not able to get this in the builder. Like I'm not able to go from the desktop to this on mobile in the builder. I can't for the life of me do it. But I decided, okay, am I forgetting my grid? So I decided to come here to write it out here, and I got it. But in the builder, I can't do it. Like these controls, these things are not allowing me to do anything that I want to do. So I had to come and write out the CSS here to be able to get it
Yeah,
like this inside the builder.
interesting.
All
So
right.
officially, I'm saying that interface is not working. It's not working. It has a lot of limitation, and they need to do something about it very quickly.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
know,
Lewis, if you're
it's
watching,
unusable
here you
for
go.
something serious. Honestly,
Mm.
Mm.
in
Yeah.
bricks, I wouldn't have wasted this time. I would have finished this. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm seeing here, I don't know if we mentioned this before, but it is creating a hidden class like Oxy Container 76,
yeah,
Yeah,
102,
it does.
101.
it does.
It does.
But you can't style that.
You can tell that those classes are
Yeah.
generated, and they use it to store things like global, like locally scoped variables.
Hmm.
So if you create a locally scoped variables for, let's say, this container, so here you are able to come here and add a variable. So you want to change, you can actually add, you override a variable. So let's say you want to come here and override a specific variable. Maybe let's say you
Maybe
want
a,
to
maybe a
override
heading and then just color it.
content
Yeah.
gap here. So you just want to change it to something different. So when you save it, which I'm going to do and lose all my changes here,
Or do a new
and when
tab.
I refresh, yeah, yeah. So when I refresh that, so you're going to see that that variable is being declared under
Oh
that
yeah.
generated
Mm,
class. So they needed to be able to store the locally scoped variable. I'm not sure what else they need it for here, because if I just copy this selector and filter this, that is the only thing that is doing here. There's no
Hmm.
style associated, with it. Perhaps they use it for something. This is a more general class for Oxy container. That is whether it is a div or a section or any tag that you apply to it, as long as it is this element, it has that class, irrespective of the
interesting.
tag. Any kind of tag you, let's say I change this to, let's say I change that to an article, okay, and save. I'm quite sure, 90% sure that it's going to have that class. So we have this article, Oxy container. So that class will remain with any element that was created with this container.
Hmm.
I'm also not quite sure what they're using that for. So Oxy container, yep. They're
Nothing.
not actually applying any style to it. For it's just there, perhaps for internal purposes. I don't know. There has to be a good reason, but I'm okay with it. I mean, I could use that to style all the containers if I want to do something. It's not gonna work though,
Mm.
because everything is gonna have the same class. Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Do you guys have any feelings on Oxy 6 versus Breakdance, or Oxy whatever, what is it, 4.5?
4.9.
4.9?
Personally, I think Breakdance is better for now.
Mm-hmm.
Breakdance is a more complete product. This is more experimental. This isn't working. This is just what Bricks, the way Bricks does it, leaves it open for you to write out what you need to write. All this clicking, 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 is
Well,
just not
even
working.
and the inputs I felt personally were too small too. I mean, even then I'm seeing like
Well, I
your
can't.
column
This is a
end.
negative. This is a negative one. I can't even see it.
Yeah, it's hidden basically.
Like I can't even see it. You can't see a negative one. What are
Wait.
you going to see?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hate that. It's so small. I hate it. I'm already blind as it
So
is.
and
I
you can't
need.
Yes.
expand this. You can't expand it.
And if you're using the
Unfortunately,
variables, you can't even see like what the variable name is necessarily.
yeah.
It's just a
No,
little
you
too
can't see
small.
it.
As a
Mm.
breakdance
Yeah.
fanatic and as an oxygen like a believer, I'm just really disappointed in this. Like, it's not even a beta; it's like a pre-alpha.
Mm.
Because, like I said, no one like did anyone test it. Like, this is basic stuff we're trying to do. We're not trying to create this crazy complex layout. This is the grid. The basic grid isn't working.
Yeah. So
No.
would you like in the time that you've spent with Oxygen 6 so far? I mean, first of all, for me as a not an Oxygen user and sort of half noob on the
Yeah.
product, I'm kind of I would expect that if Oxygen 6 comes out, skipping Oxygen 5, I know they skipped it because they wanted to leave room for further iterations of 4.x, but still, it kind of it doesn't it signal that the new era is here, and then doesn't that mean it does everything better than the previous one? That's my first question. I thought that would have been the point here. Secondly, I mean the answer is kind of implied here, but secondly, um, I forgot my second question because it's 9:45 p.m. Uh, I'll come up. It's gonna come back to me. But
Well,
yeah, it's
but
just
Well,
seeing
it's,
just being the okay, if I can go,
yeah.
seeing the etch process, right? I bought the access to kind of get a preview of etch before Kevin announced anything. But seeing his approach, how he does everything in stages, like functionality before design, I feel like they skipped all those processes. Like seeing Kevin's process of how he's building his page builder, like I don't understand what everyone's doing. Like Kevin's like, okay, let's do this one feature, make sure it works, then UI it, then the next step. Like I just feel like this was just thrown together quickly just to have a Oxygen 6, and then none of half of the items don't even work right. If that makes sense, right? I'm comparing both experiences, like a new launch to a beta, and I feel like Kevin's product, which I hate supporting it, but Edge and the way he's developing it, it's already a lot more complex and can probably do this really quickly in Edge as of right now, and it's not
Yeah.
even in beta, right? It's still like in a pre-alpha stage,
Well,
MVP.
yeah,
It's still like
exactly.
a
There's some definitely just like some UX UI stuff in the just the inputs themselves that I feel like wouldn't this have been hammered out in a Figma file, before you launch this?
before you launched it. Did you even test out the the column grid feature, right? Like the
Right.
basic stuff.
They wanted it to be like Webflow, and I agree with Kevin when he said that Webflow is outdated. I actually had the same thought. When I went back to look at Webflow after this came out, the first thing that when I went back to Webflow, it wasn't so impressive anymore, to be
Yeah.
frank. So I was wondering, there are a lot of things that you just can't do in Webflow. When you work with bricks, now there is something I don't like about bricks. Bricks feels like you're trying to balance a glass of water while standing on a shaky branch. Yeah, everything in the builder is moving, is up and down, everything is shaking. Like you click on a structure panel. Okay, let me just show you. Yeah, you guys are gonna have a little bit of sneak peek into what I'm working on. But
Ooh.
Ooh, exciting! This is your promo time.
Good boy.
Yeah.
It's well
yeah,
deserved. Any promo you're
I'm
doing
soon,
now is well
I'm
deserved.
soon, I'm soon
Build
gonna
it in
release this.
breakdance. Build it in
Do
breakdance.
you believe? Do you guys believe that this is the Bricks native menu?
No.
Native
No.
menu? I'm gonna show you
Sick.
something right now. But
Nice.
anyway, so let me expand stuff so that now if I click this, you see that is moving. You see how it moves. Now I click it. I want to do something with it, and then it moves out of the way, and then I touch another. Like things are always moving around. I know they have this feature where you have to scroll the active element into view, but the active element is already in view. So if it is already in view, leave it there. Don't scroll. These things pisses me off. I mistakenly click things and delete things because of this movement. Why is it moving all the way? Look at that. This is where I clicked, and what I clicked moved so much out of the way. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I click on this drop down and it just scroll off the page. Like I don't even understand what is going on. So
Hmm.
and
it's
if you
always
and if you scroll
see
down
that
more,
Holy
you
shit.
can see
Yeah.
how nested that is.
I
I've built a couple mega menus like this, and it's like it's so overwhelming.
Briggs does that. But anyway, let me not do. I just want to show you guys something. Yeah, since you're here, so
Yeah.
I have this. Okay, so let me just do a preview. So we have this. This is like a sidebar, right? This is Bricks. Bricks. So I'm going to go into template heading, and I'm just going to turn off the that. And you see, you have your regular menu. So that
Hmm.
and
Interesting.
that is going to refresh into a regular menu, and you have your regular menu just by a click of a button, and
Oh, that's cool.
everything is super responsive. Sorry about that. So if I want to have a sidebar, I can just quickly go to the header and just left or right. I just prefer it to be left. And
Mm,
you have a sidebar.
that's
That's
dope.
pretty slick.
Yeah, I like that.
Or if you want it to be off canvas, you turn off the sidebar, go to the menu item, and just click on that. Go to the attribute and activate off canvas. So set off canvas to true. All this with just this nested. This is the nestable menu, nothing else. So you have the off canvas.
That's cool.
So you can see the back button. You have the names corresponding to what you click Mega Menu to. So that I don't want the off canvas, so I'm going to remove that. But I want to turn on one nice option for you guys to see. I'm going to go here and oh, you see what I'm saying? The things are shaking. It's just I can't click where I want to click.
Mm.
It's shaky.
Yeah. And then when you're in
So
the
Yeah.
code part, it expands even further.
Yeah, you
I
know what?
want to.
You're right about that one.
So I
I
don't know if
agree
you
with
guys see Apple's. You guys see Apple's website, where the menu expands. Is adaptive height menu where PayPal uses the same. Apple uses the same. So if you hover on the menu, you have this adaptive height.
you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
it automatically
that's tight.
adapts to the height of the menu. So this is all. This is just a single component with myriad of options. If I want to use the stripe option, kind of simulate the stripe menu animation, I just change that. Sorry, to true. That should be true, not stripe. Change that to true. That's I've enabled it, and I'm going to save it. And once it's done saving, so the system is kind of dragging. I don't know why. It's not the system I was using in the first live stream, so this is slow. So things might feel a bit. So that so things are just. It's not exactly. So let me strike. Okay, let me just come here to the one I've already set up here. So it's system is dragging. Okay, so you can see that.
Nice.
That's
So just with
that's
a
dope.
click of a button, you could convert it to the stripe
Right.
or to the adaptive height. So that is the component I'm working on. I'm just going to release it soon.
You already got a bunch of customers here in the chat.
Yeah,
People throwing their money at you.
And then just to I mean, that's really impressive that you got that working in Brick so well. Would that have been way less time in Breakdance with their mega menu builder?
Yeah, I mean, so I just wanted to have an all-in-one solution where you can have a regular menu, you can have the adaptive height, you can have the stripe menu, you can have a sidebar if you want, you can have an off canvas, just within one component.
you would
Mhm.
have to go
So
that each time. Each time you change, you have to rebuild it.
yeah, you don't like, for example, I don't have to rebuild this. You see,
Right,
because
right.
all this same thing here is these things are not so they use container queries. Okay, so I have let's see, they use container queries. So I'm trying to I want to demonstrate that. I'm trying to look for a simple way to do that. Okay, so let me do it in a simple way. So inside the builder, so you can see this. You can see that, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
So I'm going to click on this div and just change the maximum width. Notice I'm not resizing the window. So I'm changing the maximum width to like 350. You can see that everything just falls into place because they all use container queries. So that allows you to be able to switch from a regular menu to an off canvas without needing to readjust anything because the templates. This comes with pre-made templates. I have up to 5 pre-made templates already ready to go with this, and all of them are built with container queries. So that if you want to switch to a sidebar, it just automatically rearranges itself. You don't need to go in and start readjusting things. No. So everything is built with container queries.
That's
So
cool.
that's it.
I like that.
Building it smart one way,
It
and then you're not having to create multiple iterations of it.
no, just one. Just one. and you choose which style you want off canvas, sidebar, adaptive height, stripe style. Just choose what you want. It
That's
works.
dope.
So Maxime says Ruben will redo that menu in Breakdance with columns and rows.
Yeah.
I would prefer, please, if you could do it with HTML tables. That would be good.
So you ask?
That's dope. I like that. Is it coming to breakdance? I don't think it is.
Gentlemen,
We officially reached the 3. Is this the longest one we've done? 3
it's getting
hours?
there. We had a bunch that broke 3 hours, but I mean nobody here is getting bored. So, but I'm having a great time, honestly, and it seems like the whoever remains in the chat is having a great time as well. Also, like the viewer count, like it went down a little, but now it's back up. So even Max came back.
That's because I'm here.
Yeah, Brandon came back, and then boom,
Just kidding.
people are like, "Let's go, Brandon."
Let's go, Brandon.
I just learned the other day what that actually is because you explained it to me. So here's an idea I had. I'm just gonna throw this out there. It seems like in this chat, even at like there's probably like 5 people or 6 or something that said, "Hey, I'm gonna build this shit."
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm thinking there's probably going to be a bunch of videos popping up on a bunch of YouTube channels in the next 1 or 2 weeks, which is going to be exciting. And I was thinking perhaps we can do a Bridge Builder Brains episode where we kind of get people on that have built this. Like you guys, whoever's inspired, just sit down at home, crack open a cold one, and build this stuff. And then put it on your YouTube channel. Don't put it on your YouTube channel, doesn't matter. But eventually, in I don't know, 2 weeks' time, you come and join us on the episode, and you show us in like not don't rebuild it live on the show, but show us your build. Like walk us through it in like I don't know, 15 minutes each, 10 to 15 minutes each. Just be like,
That'd be
hey,
cool.
this is how I did this. Here's the section. Here's the grid. Here's the thing in this builder, and we do like a sort of rapid fire, just enough to understand what was done to get there. And I think that would be really interesting to have if you guys are down for that.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone is probably it's still again it's going to be probably another 3 hours, but
I mean,
sorry.
I think it was someone else.
Yeah,
in the chat.
it's a great idea.
Thank you. I heard there was somebody sending background. Either way, if you guys are down for that, you probably everybody knows how to find me on Facebook. Just look for Matt Eastwood. So it's not Maddie, it's Matt Eastwood on Facebook. And if you are interested in this idea, then just drop me a PM, and then we'll take it from there. We'll open a Facebook group chat and get this going. And I like my proposal would be 2 weeks from now, ish, something like that. Just a thought. Let me know.
Yeah. Elaine Jones says, great idea. Would love to see it. I think that's a cool idea. And here's
Nice.
another idea. Get the Brixies people and Brixmaven. Ed Aware is who's here in the chat. So, yeah, that's another idea.
Inspiration is flowing. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Are we going to wrap up for today? Do we have any more subjects to discuss? Are we out of steam?
Well, I think we should wrap up. 3 hours is good.
I think so too. Yeah. If you guys have been following the chat, you can already bookmark some of the users in the chat that announced they were going to do this on their channels. Unfortunately I didn't start.
Hi,
them. Otherwise I
Eduare.
would bring them up now.
Even though you came late, but still good to see you.
Yes.
Yeah, nice to have you, man. Let's see, what else did I highlight anything? GreenShift, Bob the web builder. He says he's going to do it in GreenShift, so definitely bookmark his channel. Also,
he says he might even come on the next episode or one
exactly.
Of our future
Yeah.
episodes. That'd be cool.
So our inboxes are open. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Andre, thanks.
The struggle was real. All right. Don't forget Frames people. Oh yeah, for sure. Let's get the whole Frames team on here.
So another question, Ruben, is Headspin going to come for Oxy 6?
Technically, yes. Renato is technically, don't quote me on this, but Renato would be mad at me for saying this, but it technically works for Oxygen Classic already. The variable system has been already unofficially works for it. You can use it. I've used it already from a bunch of sites. Unofficially, it's not supported, but it works. But we will be supporting Oxygen 6. We're just waiting on a more stable version because we don't know what will happen if we program it to this. It's going to break if they change anything.
And with it being built on Breakdance, on a Breakdance code base, does it? I mean, obviously, it makes it fairly easy to make Headspin for Oxy 6. But how easy? Did you run into unexpected roadblocks so far, or do you find it?
No, it's fairly compatible. Yeah, it's just trying to do the right click context menu and input all the variables. That's a little bit unique because of the whole spacing situation that you can't see what it is. It's so annoying. So like my conversation with Renato is, hey, let's do a coda for Oxygen and rebuild the whole interface. But we're gonna wait until see what they release publicly or the official launch, right? And then we can start building.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to build now, then they change the whole layout, and then we just got to start from scratch. So, I mean, it could be. I'm assuming it'll be another year before it's out officially.
A lot can happen in a year. I mean, it really feels like I mean, nobody can predict it, but I don't know if like there's two ways this can go. This can continue. Like one is they really do a number on the Oxy 6 interface and like, make it better and the whole UX, or they just throw up their arms and go fuck it. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah. I just wish there was an edge community for Oxygen, like all of us that are diehards, and be involved as it's building, right? Like the Cracka, the me, the Renatos that are supporting your product. Let's get us in a group and let's build it together.
Yeah.
That was the most surprising thing. Like, I mean, part of me thought that maybe you guys had an NDA that you signed that, that you guys were kind of giving input on this stuff. I think that would have helped. And even if it's just like showing you and, not necessarily giving you an access to it yet, but just getting feedback, I think that would have been smart.
Yeah.
Is there a roadmap at all? Anything?
No, there's nothing.
No roadmap.
I just woke up one day and all of a sudden everyone was talking about it. It's like, what happened?
I know that the announcement was pretty clear, but the thing that really made me kind of sad was people that have Oxy, 4.x sites, and they're like, I installed Oxy 6 and now my site's broken. I'm like, that's not how it works, man.
Should have read the memo.
Compatible.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what Divi's running into, trying to be backwards compatible, but yet build a new framework.
Oh yeah,
Divi's having that. Divi's been in development for 2 years, for 5. I go because it's a huge mess, so you can't build upon the old Oxygen. Like it's a huge mess.
Yeah.
So Oxygen is trying to live, and so is Elementor trying to live in the dual worlds. Like it's trying to improve, but it can't. It has to improve very, very slow.
Yeah, it's an unenviable position for sure.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah. So I don't blame the team for rebuilding.
Yeah,
but I think it could have been a more user-driven experience from the pros, like the Kodas, the Renatos that kind of pioneered. The Jonathans, the Kevins, the guys that build Oxygen to what it was should have been in a room talking about it.
Well. All right, I think we're going to wrap up for today. This was fantastic, really. I had a great time. It was both educational and entertainment of the highest order.
Yeah, thank you both for coming and spending 3 hours with us. And of course, everyone here in chat too. Thank you for staying and being active.
Big kudos.
Yep.
And who's going to say bye? Everybody says bye. Wave at the camera. Bye, folks. Wait, here, there.
Bye.
All right, end broadcast. See ya soon.
Yes.
Bye, and drop me a line on Facebook if you guys want to be on that idea for how did I build this. All right, see you soon. Bye.